this is gonna get deleted, baby.
Let's have a good one,
Wasting
guys.
my time.
Let's have a good show. Really big shows.
Oh, for fuck's sake. All right.
Yep.
Fuck it. We'll do it live. What's up, everybody who's listening? This is episode 23 of the Duke London podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the podcast that is just after my birthday. So I thought I would do something for me as a birthday present to myself. And I thought I'd bring in my two besties, my two closest friends. This may be one of the best things I've done or one of the worst things I've done.
We'll see.
We shall find out. So, quick intro for anyone that doesn't know these two sexy people sitting opposite me. Lee Putman, Abe Jarman, two of the guys that I started dancing with at the very, 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 very beginning, and have become my best friends over this time. And yeah, we've kind of gone on a lot of fucking journeys, learned a lot. I've learned a lot from them. And yeah, I kind of just thought it would be cool to have them in and have a talk and yeah, just see what the fuck happens. Yeah, we started off with Toy Box, I guess. Or no, before that,
yeah.
Groundbreakers. And
Before. Where was Urban Entertainment or Urban Tainment? Was that after Groundbreak?
I'm already regretting it.
Urban Tainment. That got the best name for a dance crew, yeah? Urban Tainment, you know, because we're urban and we entertain the peeps.
So some mistakes were made along the way.
We were so 17.
Yeah, so me and Lee first started dancing together at a training session in Watford, where Mus brought me to. Mus decided not to be here.
We love you, Mus.
Yeah, Mus didn't wake up, so it's all good.
Big time, we love you.
Big time sugar.
Yeah, so me and Lee started dancing together when Mus brought me to a training session in Watford. I knew Abe from, I think, around the area we used to play basketball together.
I thought Mus introduced. I think Mus introduced me to both of you. I think Mus introduced all of us to.
But I used to remember you because when I was first starting dancing with Mus and Lee,
yeah,
I remember you used to be around the courts and you used to make like crip walk videos of like just your feet and.
But that wasn't in the court. I didn't make that. At
no, not in the courts. But as in those are the things I knew about.
But
you.
maybe you came down with Mus one time because I knew Mus definitely first. I remember seeing Mus at Casio Courts and Mus telling me like. Me talking about dancing and be like, oh, you're a dancer. Yeah, man's a dancer. I got dancer friends.
Yeah.
So Mus was the link.
I think Mus
was a hookup for all of us.
All of us, yeah.
Yeah, because I met Mus first at Breaking.
Yeah, and then
I met you. And then the earliest memory I have of you was at the court.
Yeah.
And then you was in Burger King.
It was McDonald's.
Was it?
No,
it wasn't.
McDonald's. Yeah, it was.
It was Burger King.
It wasn't Burger King. It was underneath the bridge. We went to McDonald's.
This is probably the least important detail.
It wasn't. It was because it was coming up the what's that walk into the
studio?
Charter Place. No, in Charter Place.
Charter Place is the studio, right?
No.
That we danced in.
No, that's the underpass. Charter Place is the Burger King.
Where's Burger King? Listen, the first memory I have of you, is
Burger King.
Is McDonald's. Is when you were in the studio teaching a dance class.
Yes.
That's the first memory I have of you watching.
But
you
we
teach.
knew each other before that. Like, yeah, because we used to be one of the younger kids. We used to come to Casper and play basketball.
Yeah.
I definitely remember you from around there.
Oh yeah, no, sorry, that is a lie. Yeah.
We just didn't like
we didn't
hang.
Really talk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think obviously when you
I
were
just dunked on you and stuff like that.
Yeah, definitely.
I crossed you up. But...
What?
How much younger are you than me?
3 years, I think.
And it's like when I'm 17, 18, that's a big. Do you know what I mean?
15, and I'm still
like now
on you. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Anyway, you're basically the same height.
Okay.
So yeah, fucking hell, guys. If you listen all the way through this, then I love you. And yeah. So just
pretty good, man. If you managed to survive us.
Yeah.
Even this first 8 minutes.
Yeah, I know. People are like, why am I listening? It's been 4 minutes, by the way.
That's always the sign of a good podcast.
All right, boss man.
I have a timer here, all right, guys. So yeah, and then we had a few crews, which we won't talk about, but we were in Toy Box together, which for anyone that doesn't know was a choreography group that we were part of. And then more recently we kind of started our crew UMA, which was more of like a battle crew. And then now it's like, I wouldn't say that we're not in UMA anymore. It's still like the family name, but we're obviously not really battling and doing the same kind of crew stuff as we used to. And yeah, that's kind of the journey. So yeah, I don't really have too much of an agenda what I want to talk about with you guys. It's just more like just me wanting to chat with you guys for this episode.
Right.
Just quickly,
hit me.
Can you hear your voice ducking in and out? When you
Yeah, a
back
little
and
bit.
Forth? Is it the cable or is it because you're moving around?
It might be because I'm moving.
Yeah,
but
stop moving. Just put it about this far away from your mouth.
About a fist.
About a
Fist distance away from
about
it.
a fist difference.
Fist difference.
Fifth Element.
Oh, right. This is the worst intro of all time.
I quite liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was nice.
I thought it
Oh,
was nice,
thanks, guys.
actually,
Yeah, you did a really good job, buddy.
Anyway, yeah, so these are my besties. And I just thought it'd be nice to have a talk with people who were super close to me, because a lot of people I've spoken to so far have been...
Lame.
No. have been from the dance scene.
Boring.
Fucking hell. So tell me about you guys, like, coming first into the dancing, because you came into dancing before me, I think. You were dancing before me, and you came after me.
Yeah.
So tell me about...
Let me go first, because I found out about you before I even started dancing properly.
Yeah.
Really?
How did you get in? What was your first, like, how did you first come into the dance scene, do you feel?
Wow. What, as in, like, when did I first start, like, even trying to learn anything, or did I enter and start meeting people from the scene?
Give me both. When did you first, start getting into dance, and then when did you feel like, oh, I'm a part of the scene now?
Well, I think, like, starting getting to dance, it was like kind of like everyone else, you know, like from like age fucking 5 or whatever. You just like you see little bits and pieces from films, you're like, oh, that's sick or whatever, blah blah.
Yeah.
But I think like when I was probably last year of school, so maybe like 15, 16, is when when we started getting fucking phones, or I could start getting phones where I could record myself, and then and I would just start practicing glides or like backslides or stuff like that in mum's house, and then show people, and then ended school, came back to sixth form, and there was a break in between where I don't know if you guys met Adrian or Matt, but they were attending the break-in session.
Yeah, I don't think I met them.
Adrian.
Okay. No, a couple of guys. Basically, they would go to the break-in session anyway. I used to go to school with one of them, and after the summer, I was like, "Oh, what you been doing?" He goes, "Oh, I started going to this breaking class. You want to come?" I was like, "Yeah, that sounds amazing." And then he was like, "Oh, they teach pop in there," and I was like, "Oh, well, that's what I want to learn." Yeah, and then that was pretty much it.
Fair. And then at what point did you feel like you were like in the London/UK scene?
Wow, when I started battling at Throwdown.
Really?
Yeah. That was when I was like, "Oh, I'm involved."
When was the first battle that you did? Do you remember who your first battle was with?
Ah, man, I remember that, like, my earliest memory of Throwdown was me battling Jitsu. That's probably my...
I remember that one, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's got to be the earliest memory I have.
That's that Tom and Jerry battle right there, bruv.
Tom and Jerry?
Yeah.
Oh, my voice went. Tom and Jerry.
So Throwdown. And how do you feel, like, let's take a minute on Lee. How do you feel like with where your career went?
With dancing?
Struggling with the mic.
Yes. Sorry. My career went with dancing.
Yeah, because you went from like...
the fucking toilet.
Do you think?
Yeah.
Is that how you look back on your dance career?
Nah, it was... I really don't know. Like, it's like I feel so conflicted by it. Like, it was definitely a catalyst for all my mental health issues throughout my 20s.
That's
like,
always
definitely.
good. In what way?
In the way I've got to dance.
Okay, go on. Speak on it.
Fucking hell, man, that was mad. All right, so got to dance just in like a nutshell. So I did it with Abe and Mus.
Do you know what year?
That was 2012. I think I did it with you guys.
I didn't do it with Mus. It was just me and you, bro.
Yeah, it was just
sorry.
you two.
No, yeah. Sorry, it was just me and Abe. And then we got through. We
did the live.
Yeah, we did the live. We got the gold stars, but we didn't get through to the semi-finals.
Between us and the people that won it that year.
That's all right, though.
Yeah.
Not on the bank account, it's not.
That is true.
So we did. I did it with Abe, and then the next year I just kind of, like I said to Abe, I was like, "Yo, man, I just want to do it again, but I just kind of feel like I should do it by myself. I just want to. There's like some stuff I wanted to do, and Abe obviously wasn't on the level, so
that's not what happened. He said, "Yo, do you want to come do it?" And I was like, "Nah, bruv, that show's dead, bruv." That's actually what happened.
Yeah.
Things dead still.
Yeah, So I did it by myself and I got way further.
Yeah. Yeah, go on. So what, 2013 this was?
Yeah, I think so. So around about 2013. So I did it by myself, and then got through to the semi-finals, and then I had to do this. Me and Cash were in like a top 4 or 6 kind of fight out for battle out for the place in the semi-finals. Then I won that, and then I got through to the semi-finals, and then the semi-finals. Basically, I just had no idea how TV worked,
right?
And this was like my introduction to it, right? So I was like, oh yeah, man, what? Like the TV producers, they just want me to shine as an individual,
yeah, right.
And like I was like super inexperienced and super ignorant, and so then I basically in my audition I freestyled to a Rusty track that you edited, right? And then I was like, cool, I just want to freestyle again to a Hudson Mohawk track. And they just weren't having it.
Because your audition was like, I thought it was fucking sick, and
thanks.
It went like a bit viral in a way. Like Rusty shared it, and like loads of people loved it.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, like
man.
It was his audition was like from that season was like the
best,
yeah, and I think the biggest. Like everyone was sharing it. Like, oh, this guy's sick. Blah blah blah. Like,
was that when you had?
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, you go.
Was that when you had the little?
Yeah.
You did something on the floor with your knees, and then you were like that.
No, that was the semis.
That was the semi-finals. Yeah.
Cool.
But I think to be fair, I think that like allowing someone like me on the show came from Turbo the year before.
Okay.
So he went on and he fucking smashed it. So and like I thought that allowed like him freestyling in his audition the way he did allowed me to go on there and just be like, oh cool, I can just put on a track that no one knows, freestyle, and people will be responsive to.
Yeah, it was that kind of like good personality, cheeky beat kill kind of performance, which Turbo did as well. Yeah.
Yeah, he's fucking smashed it, and I was like, all right, brilliant, that's cool. That's like, I just want to go on there and just be myself like he was, you know.
Yeah.
And then there was like when he went into the semi-finals and finals, there was definitely a more refined, slightly commercial side to it, but I still saw him in his performance. Right. And I was like, oh, cool. Then they're just going to let me do, they're just going to help me refine myself. But it wasn't that. It was, they had an agenda of making money and putting on a good show. Right. And I thought it was a dance competition, you know?
And how did that, like, what did they do that changed what you would have done? If that makes sense.
They changed the music, they changed the movement, they changed what I wore.
So with the movement, they was like, you came to them and said, look, this is what I'm going to do. And they were like, no, you're not allowed to do that. Or how did it work?
Yeah. So that basically I said, look, I want to freestyle. And they came back with rational arguments, but I was just fucking so in my head about how I wanted to move and do stuff. So I would say, I want to move in this way and do a freestyle. They said, no, because we've got specific cameras. So we need to know where you're going to be at all times.
Right.
I was like, well, I mean, that makes sense, but can't I just tell you where I'm going to be and I'll freestyle in between?
Yeah. Like staging rather than them choreographing it for you, which still makes sense.
Right. And then they said, no, they need to know that it's, they need to know. See?
Why does this do this?
I think you need to push it higher.
Push it.
Oh, cool.
I need to.
These mics are new to us, guys. It's only the second time in a real studio I've been doing the budget setup.
Bullshit.
So I hope you can hear us and see us fine. But yeah, go on. Sorry.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, cool. Can you not just let me freestyle and I'll go to X spot or Y spot on the stage or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And they were like, no. And now I realize that that's because they don't want to take any risks on that. It's like, it's like fucking with their money, you know?
And if you forget what you're going to do, or you like they don't know how seasoned of a performer you are. So it's like,
which I wasn't.
Yeah, at that time you weren't. So if you like trip and it like stresses you and you start crying on stage, they're like,
get the close up. Get the close up of the tears.
He's forgotten how to freestyle.
I just get there. I'm like, can we just start again?
Yeah.
And obviously they don't want to fucking risk that, right?
Which in a big business way, I get it, kind of.
Now I get it.
Yeah.
Like, but yeah, at the time I just had no concept of this. And I just thought they were trying to stifle me and whatever. And I just kept fighting. Instead of trying to work with them and compromising, I just kept fighting against them. And obviously I'm going to lose because each week, if they have every semi-finals and finals, each week they have 2 acts that are stand-ins in case they need, for any reason, to remove an act or 2.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it was like, if I put up basically if I kept fighting against them, which like eventually they assigned a runner to me.
Yeah.
And he was like, look, I just need to speak to you on a level. They're going to kick you off the show if you don't compromise.
Really?
Yeah,
they said that?
Yeah, man. Like, so, but he was really sound about it, right? And he was like, look, I just want you to fucking just come on and do something, man. Like, just like work with a minute. And I was like, fuck. But at this time, I still couldn't comprehend what the situation was in it. So yeah, in terms
purely because of that you were pushing back on all their ideas.
But I was pushing back on everything, like really everything. Like I was just really like I was really difficult to work with.
We should have got Abe. We should have got Abe.
What if you two were together? You would have been less trouble.
No, to be fair, probably because like we would have had like at least each other to bounce off and just go, like I could go, hey, what with this? And he'd go, no, whatever. And then at least on top of that, there was like your brother was, I guess, developing himself quite early on in his business, and I think he would have given us some sort of understanding of how people work in the kind of industry with money, you know. But yeah, I was pushing back on the movement, on the music. Every time, basically, what they have to do is obviously they have to clear things for copyrights, right? So I would send some tracks through, and they'd come back 2 weeks later and go, nah, this, and this didn't work, blah, blah, whatever. Then eventually, I would send it through, and within an hour, they'd go, no. And I'm like,
you didn't even check. You just don't want me to use it.
Right? So in the end, I had to use some like Chris Brown track and then some other mix. And I was like, I fucking hate this shit. And then the clothes, because I'm so unorganized, basically they have color schemes for each group. So let's say there's like 6 acts. Yeah. They have 6 color schemes, and it's first come, first serve. So then I got stuck with green and mustard yellow.
Beautiful.
Right? And I was like, it's kind of ugly. And then I had to wear some trousers and stuff that I didn't want to, whatever. Anyway. And then, yeah, basically, we'd done the performance and I just wasn't happy with it. And they kept trying to make me look like Michael Jackson for some reason. They was like, yeah, just move like Michael. Move like Michael.
Everyone loves that. Everyone loves a bit of Michael.
Not Michael.
And now they do. So... Anyway, so it comes to the semi-final performance, and basically, up until that point, I'd had this like fear that I was like, oh man, they're just gonna fucking hate me in it. Yeah. They're like, no, whatever, blah blah. So I go there, everyone's super nice to me, like the whole cast, like the Rusty track that I used in the audition. So they're all just like, yeah, man, we'll really listen to it. And then I said I got hard mode as the intro. Yeah. They were like, oh, we love it. So the cast were really nice. Davina was the host. She was lovely to me. Yeah. Oh, Davina.
Yeah. She was amazing, man. And then Ashley was super nice to me, and Adam Garcia as well, the judge. And the only one that seemed like really perturbed by me was Kimberly. Right.
I'm just here to just drop sound effects. Sorry.
I don't know if that was like, if it was sincere, if it was part of the dynamic of the show to have one that wasn't keen on.
You mean on stage she would give you type of feedback, or you mean like backstage?
Sorry, no. I only ever interacted with her when the cameras were on. Right. She always seemed off put by me. But
the one that didn't quite like the performance.
Yeah, but like Adam Garcia, I caught backstage, and he was just super nice to me. And then after I didn't get through the semis, he just came up to me and was like, yo, man, like, said some nice words. Ashley called me, I think, like a few days afterwards, like, talked to me about it. Yeah, anyway, so I get on stage and I do my performance. And at that time, so I was really unhappy with it anyway. And my sister at the time, something happened with her.
Oh, I remember.
Yeah, something happened with her spine. I think I got told at the time it was like the membrane surrounding her spine had just disappeared or eroded or something. Right. And it made it really difficult for her to walk. Okay. And so she got let out of hospital to come on like a day
visit.
Yeah, day visit to come watch me at the semi-final. So I'm like, fuck, I need to do this for her, innit? So
that is pressure,
man. That is pressure,
right?
Man.
I was fucked, man.
How old were you?
I was 23, 22.
Yeah, man. Yeah, 22-year-old, putting that much pressure on a 22-year-old.
Bruv, and she's like
on national TV.
Yeah, this is my 12, 13-year-old sister, like, can't walk in a wheelchair coming to see me at hospital, and I'm like, I need to do good.
Yeah.
And,
move like Michael.
It's mustard, it's great. So... yeah, so it comes to the performance, I do my thing, and they red star me or red X me, like all three, and they were just like, yeah, man, it's not good. And they said things, they were like, yeah, I just expect you to freestyle a bit more, the music wasn't you, I don't like, and it's not your character, it seems a bit like choreographed.
Like you should have done more like your first audition.
And then it was like, this is a setup.
It's like, I've been trying.
I stood there, I was like that. And then and Ashley goes, well, what did you think? And I just went, oh, I thought it was all right.
I'm 22. I'm wearing mustard, yellow and green. You fatting.
I don't know how this works. Yeah, and then and at the time, like I'd basically I was in my, like I had to fucking retake a year at uni because I just fucking been disorganized and fucked up. And this year that I was retaking, I'd fucked off for this show.
And then, so I got halfway through and I got home in my halls at uni. So I just had to do the rest of the year at uni that I knew I was failing, that I'd just been told I'd have to retake the retake year. And I was like,
stress.
And I just left it. I was like, whatever, man, done.
And I do feel like also at that time, from my perspective, there was a lot of pressure coming from you in the battle scene as well. Because I feel like this is a time when you were like training with monsters a lot. I think both of you were at this point.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah, I think that this is like the height of you guys being in monsters and stuff like that. And I think I remember a lot of people liked Lee's dance, which I mean they still do, but like at this point it was like, oh, you're the up and coming guy. Like we not like, oh, you're the best in the UK right now, but it's like, oh, we want to see like where you're gonna go, and we're really excited to see. And everyone was really like kind of behind you, which in a way is good, but I think the way it came across to me as your friend and being a bit closer in was like there was a lot of pressure there for you, and it was like you were the one that, like I guess had the responsibility to be good after everyone says you're gonna be good, so that you're like, well, I have to be now because otherwise I can't let everyone down. And I think it was kind of around that time there was all that. I think it was a similar time to when you battled Nelson at UK Champs.
Yeah, that was 2012, so it was about a year after, I think.
Because I remember at UK Champs when you battled Nelson, it was the same. That's when you guys told me you were going to be on Got to Dance together.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Because it was outside Champs. You were like, oh yeah, we got to tell you something. We're going to be on. We already did the audition. Blah blah blah. So then it was the next year was Got to Dance, and around that time I think is when Green. Do you remember when Green came over and you battled him in truck? And so there was a lot of kind of battles where you were battling these big people who at that time it wasn't as common for.
And he gave it to Green, bruv.
Yeah, it was
like,
a good
I remember
battle.
being there, yeah, man. Yeah. Even in the like Green, like I don't know about you, man, but I looked at Green's face and I like at the time when that was when Green was like hot shit and he just came out and he just came like his first time in the UK. Everyone. He was smoking everyone and he always looked super confident in all of his battles. And then I watched him battle Lee and I was like, oh.
But yeah,
you look a bit pissed off, bruv. Sorry, carry on.
No, that's fine.
Pushed Green shit in, bruv. Green.
I
wonder if that's us being biased, though.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I don't care, bruv. Green's got smoke. No,
I thought that was terrible. Like him and Nelson. I remember, like I was trying to punch Nelson in the face to a funk track. And Nelson was like, "I'm just here to dance, man. What are you doing?" Just didn't get it.
But yeah, I guess that was like you trying to find your battle persona, and you thought at one point it was, I need to be as angry as possible.
Yeah, like, it was just awful, man.
But yeah, so I think it was like all of that stuff kind of added up, and then when the Got to Dance thing happened, it was like it all came crashing down. Like,
yeah, it was too much.
So what? Because you said it kind of kickstarted a lot of your mental health issues. Like, how did that? Like, what happened from there onwards? Like, you don't have to tell me your whole life, but I mean, like,
how long we got?
Yeah, no, but as in, how did that? Because I feel like maybe some people who don't know you as well would be like, oh, okay, you lost the competition, blah, blah. Like, you just kind of be like, fuck it. Like, that was shit and move on. And especially because you've got like your other, if anyone doesn't know, Lee's a sick artist, illustrator and painter. Check his Insta. But so you've got also something else, like your whole life wasn't riding on you being a dancer. So what was it that was so heavy about that?
Well, it was a good question. So for me, it was more just like this insane pressure I felt to perform, you know? So like, So we're talking about at a time when, like I said, so I'd fucked off uni. I'd failed my year that I was already retaking. And which meant like financially, like I had one more year that I could use a grant for, and then I have to pay for that. So I had effectively 2 more years to do just to get a fucking bachelor's. And I wanted to do a master's after that as well, right? So I was like, that'd be like maybe 6 to 9 grand I'd have to find out of my pocket if I wanted to continue to where I wanted to go.
Yeah.
I already didn't agree with how they taught art in uni as well anyway. And then, so I was like, okay, cool, that's fucked off. So I'm just living in this house full of other people doing their masters in like aerospace engineering. And I'm like, I failed my foundation art degree. And I was like, okay, cool. Like, this is shit. And like, then obviously like this was after B-Boy Champs and whatever. But like outside of it, I had this, my name. So like I've never had a Twitter account that I've used or whatever. So but people were telling me, oh, your name's trending on Twitter, because there was loads of controversy around the show. Mm-hmm. And and so and then from the battle scene and everything, it just felt like there's loads of pressure. And then from art, and then because I was like, I don't know what to do, blah, blah.
Right.
And then at that time, Rob snapped me up. on pro dance agency.
Right.
And then after that, it just felt like, oh, I have to perform. Like I have no time to improve or get better. Like I went from going to a dance event, battling, coming away to the studio and just playing with ideas for a month before we even thought about going to another battle.
Yeah.
To I have to go to that battle and this one and that one, and I have to battle here and I have to get through here and I have to perform and I have to win that and I have to beat that person every week. And then on top of that, it was, all right, but now you're 18 grand in debt from uni. What are you going to do with it? You don't have anything. You don't have any degree. And then I was like, yeah, but you also don't have any money and you don't have a place to live. So how are you going to do that? And I was like, oh, man.
You're like, I'm 23.
I was like, I shouldn't have to deal with this. And then, and it just like, I think like giving myself space to fall into kind of that realm of thinking about things without having time to really work through the ideas, without having an avenue to work through that in, you know, because like there was no, at the time, like mental health now is like this really well documented thing. Everyone has a lot of support for it. But at the time I didn't have any access to anything where I was like, I didn't have any guidance to anything, you know, like for example, like, the mentor, I guess I had a couple of mentors maybe at work or like Kev, for example, but they would talk to me in this really like kind of like old school cutthroat way, you know, like when I was training for B-Boy Champs, I remember it was fucking, now I laugh about it and it's really funny thinking back at it, but at the time I was like, that's not funny. So we're training and Kev goes, it's like 2 months before Champs and I did my first session around there and I was doing drills and he laughed in my face and went, you're just training to get smoked in the first round. I was like,
that is so rude.
It was so, because the thing is, he was so right though. I just, but to be fair, then there was something, I can't remember what happened, but then there was something, I was training at his like for a year or so, and then he said something to me, and I think I was being like, you remember we used to go around there and we used to kind of like just be dickheads and laugh about whatever. I continued that mentality when I kept going there a bit on my own. And then one day he said something. He was making everyone do a Fresno and I wasn't joining in because I was being lazy. And he just fucking cut me down in front of everyone without even really breaking pace. Like he just said a bunch of stuff. He's like, yeah, lazy, not work out, blah, blah, whatever. But he said it in a really articulate, like really fucking poignant way. Right. And I was sat on the floor at that point and I just went like this. And he went, all right, and now high up. I just sat there and I was like, fuck, man. And that, to be fair, I think that was one of the big moments where I was like, all right, I really need to sort myself out. And then from
Was this before or after Got to Dance?
It was after Got to Dance.
Right.
And then it was from there, I think, I was like, oh, I need to do something to sort out how I feel, how I think, my mental health. And then, and then like a bunch of stuff happened after that. It was just like, I just wasn't good at sorting out my mental health. Like every time I would try something, I would just fall short, like hugely. And it would just affect me even more. And I just went into this fucking pit. You know, where I was just unhappy. And then I ended up working for an energy company for like 4 years. Yeah. Where when I came into the energy company, it was like, this is how fucking mad it was, right? And you understand this. So I go into this call center job where I'm listening to people who can't read their energy bills and I'm trying to explain it to them. And I would say stuff like I'd come in, I'd be like, oh, you're right, guys. Like, oh, you're the guy I've got to dance. And I'm like, yeah, can you show me how to open that account? Like, all right. And it just felt really uncomfortable. And it was just that. And then like, you just watch these people who have like, kind of revere you coming in a little bit. And then they kind of look at you like you're like a waste of space sort of like almost.
Yeah.
You know? That's why you're here. Okay.
Yeah. Like, oh, what happened kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah. And then just like, it's too long to talk about, but just fucking loads of shit, one after another.
Yeah.
Where I was just trying shit to try and sort out my mental health. And only up until maybe the last year or so have I kind of been honest about almost everything in my life, just with myself, you know. And
so do you think that was a big part of like the key of sorting it out was like you had to be honest about a lot of this stuff?
Yeah, man. Like, but just to yourself, you know, and like actually say it out loud. Yeah. And I think saying it out loud to my partner Rasha, I think that's probably
that you can use it to bounce off her kind of thing.
I mean, yes, but it was more so like, because at least for me, right, I don't know if you guys will resonate with this. The fear is with the stuff that no, wait, before I even say that, like the mental health stuff for me is like I have a bunch of stuff that I feel and I don't know how to deal with it, but then there's also a lot of secrets that I hold, you know, about my personality and how I feel about myself or whatever. And the fear is that if I release these secrets, people are going to look at me differently. Right? And it's like, okay, cool. So if the person... sorry. Sorry about that. That's all right. So it's like if the person like closest to me won't look at me differently, it's okay.
Right, got you.
You know, so it's like
Yeah, it's like she's the one that it matters the most about.
Yeah.
I care about her.
So it's like her and you guys. So it's like, all right, cool. If I can tell her and you guys like the deepest things about myself, and you guys are like, yeah, cool, and it's like, oh, okay, cool. It doesn't matter what anyone else thinks.
Yeah, because after that, it's like the connections are get further away. So it's like, well, why do I give it? Like, if somebody else does react bad, it's like, yeah, but you're not the one that's gonna matter.
Yeah, and I can also extend patience for that. So if someone judges me for a certain thing, you know, like I don't know what it would be. If someone judges me for like I live my life a certain way or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I don't know, whatever. It's like, yeah, maybe you just think differently to me.
Yeah,
and it's it's like it's not even like, oh fuck you, I don't need you in my life anyway. You know, it's like, oh yeah, okay, cool. That's just how you think.
Yeah, that's where you're at, and that's okay.
Yeah.
And it's like we're the ones that are closest to you, so for a reason, because we think similarly to you. So if we judge you,
more,
it's like it means maybe there's something like, or you might take it as there's something wrong with you, or you know what I mean.
But you might question yourself a bit more, like, oh shit, if Abe and Luke don't agree with this, then am I doing the right thing? Like,
exactly.
Yeah, and I think because of the way we've developed our conversations and our relationships over the years, like it would still give me way more space before I got to that point of like, oh, there's something wrong with you guys, you know, or like what? Because I like say if you judge me harshly immediately, I'll be like, oh man, are you going through something? You know, or like you know, it's like, is it a bad day for you? Like, are you okay? Like, I wouldn't take it personally. Yeah. And then on top of that, I'd be like, oh, maybe they just articulated it poorly at the time or whatever. You know, like I would be.
I hear you.
Yeah.
Let's definitely come back to that because I want to hear a bit of Abe's story, even though I was there for it. But yeah, not to like cut you off on the mental health. Am I just like, I went through it.
Yeah, you went through it.
Yeah,
anyway, let's get back to bubblegum and star
It's like, so Abe, tell me about your dancing.
I do want to come back to that though, because mental health, I think.
I mean, I think it all links, to be honest. Like all of this stuff is what brought us together.
Bubblegum.
I started dancing. To be honest, I think the first time I can remember the first time I started doing anything resembling popping was what was that flipping music video called? There was a music video where there's two crews battling in like some bridge.
The Run DMC
thing, yeah. And the guy with the afro comes out and starts popping. Yeah, so I started taking
What is that song called?
It's like that.
That song.
Yeah.
It's like
that. So, it's like that, yeah. Now I understand what you meant. Yeah, I thought you were just joining the conversation.
It's like that. Yeah, it do be like that sometimes. You do be forgetting shit.
No, that's the name of the song. So yeah, I started taking the piss out of that. Right. And then I remember my brother and my mum was like, oh, that's pretty good actually. Do that again. And I was like, is it? So I was doing that on and off. Didn't really care that much about dance, and I was more into basketball, playing video games and stuff like that. Met Mus at basketball. Obviously met you, but dancing wise, we were talking about dance.
Yeah, because you guys were the same age. So
yeah, I think I maybe did a round in front of him. I don't know how we got onto it. But he came on some fucking cocky flex, man. He was like, yeah, man, I came second at this, was it B-Boy? It wasn't B-Boy Champs, it was Hip Hop International.
Was he really saying that?
Yeah. He said, I'm second in the world or in the UK or something like that. He was like, I was second, you know, and my mate Lee's first. You were like a legendary Pokemon to me. He was like, bro, you wait.
It must used to gas you up.
He was like, wait, you think I'm good? Wait till you meet Lee. Yeah. He
said the same thing when he brought me to breaking. Because I met Mus randomly out in the street, and my friends introduced us, and then we went to a club and we used to dance there when it was like under 18s nights and stuff. And then he was like, no, trust me, I'm gonna bring you to the real shit. Like, he's like, trust me, like there's a session that we do, like B-boy session, like you're gonna come and like you're gonna see, and my boy Lee is there, me and him, like we dance all the time, like, like
some fucking mafia.
Yeah.
I'll put you onto the real shit, Jimmy.
But to be fair, as soon as I saw Lee dance the first time, I was like, no, you were right.
Bro, so was I. When I first saw Lee dance, I was like, oh, he is a legendary Pokemon. I was like, what? I've never seen anyone move like that. I was talking to you. I took videos of you and showing it to my dad. I was like, no, but Dad, look what he does with his chest.
Yeah.
I've never seen that before.
I remember. Sorry, just on that same vibe. Like when I first hung around with you and Mus, like I think I did a couple of sessions with you at the breaking session, and there was this, you know, the Aviv show every year.
Yeah.
There was like a little like it was the local dance school had like a show, like their annual show for all the kids. Basically, it was a really small thing. And after I trained a couple of times with Mus and Lee, like Mus like pulled me to the side and he was like, yeah, basically, like, I don't want to like say this too early, but like me and Lee perform at this show every year. And like, if you keep training and like get good, like you might be able to do it with us.
He's the best. I love him.
Bro,
That's
I
the
was
best.
gassed.
You're like, count me in.
Bro, I fucking went home and told my mum.
Mum, I'm going to be in the Aviv dance show. What the fuck is Aviv? Don't worry about it.
I didn't even tell her I'm going to be in it. I was gassed that he said I could maybe be in it. I was like, they said if I keep training. And then I was like in my kitchen till 1 a.m. Like, gotta get these waves clean, guys. I was gassed, bro.
Geez. That's so funny.
This is like when I didn't know you guys.
Musk could sell anything, man. Yeah.
That's sick.
He's the best. Yeah. Now that
but things like that were a fucking big deal back in the day. Like,
of course it was.
For like when we were like 17 and like never
Especially in
danced
Watford.
before. Yeah.
Well, actually, come to think, just skip back a tiny bit before I get onto when I then met you two.
Yeah.
YouTube was just coming
it was
about,
just a thing. Man.
and it was coming about. And the thing is, on YouTube, the main thing at that time was dance. Like dance was a huge thing because I think Step Up or Stomp the Yard or something like that came out.
But it's such a good thing.
Or You Got Served, I think it was.
Before like all of this sort of like online content got created, it's like dance is a really easy thing to like film.
Yeah, and watch. Yeah. So I started
You don't
doing
need
like
equipment.
Yeah. I started watching, doing the tutorials, doing Cripwalk videos, and being like, and then did my own little YouTube, put my own videos
I
out.
remember that.
And then I met you two. I met you doing choreo, and I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. I hadn't done any choreography.
That was at my
before.
class, right?
That was at your class, yeah. Then I came in and started doing it.
And I remember you being annoyingly good at recalling choreo, which you still are.
Yeah.
Wow.
But I remember like
I don't think that was a good lesson or skill for me because I was pretty good at picking up choreo. So because I was pretty good at picking up choreo, I was like, I could just fuck about.
Yeah.
And I remember there like other people that like I'm close to, like Karina and all of that, was like, yeah, I fucking hated you the first year.
Yeah.
Because you just come into the class, fucking do it sick, and then dick about, and all of us who couldn't get like the first 2 steps would be pissed off at you.
You were that
Like,
kid
sorry.
in the school that everyone hates, like all the teachers hate.
Yeah.
But it was like that. Like I think when first time I remember was like you came from, I think you were working at John Lewis.
Yeah.
And you came in your suit and just sat at the back of the class and you were waiting for me after. And then I taught, like, admittedly the choreo was pretty shit. I was 17. It was like my first year
I
of
thought
dancing.
you were sick, bro.
Oh, thanks, mate.
I thought you were sick. The first time I saw you do choreo, and you was like, I'm not as good as this person or this person. I was like, bruv, you're fucking sick. What are you talking about?
Bruv, not only just choreo, but the first time I saw him at all was in Casio courts, basketball courts, and I remember sitting on a ball, and I was like, this guy's a dickhead, man, because we just finished playing basketball, innit?
I was at that
Like,
time.
he was a proper knob.
Yeah.
And then he did he was showing off to Jasper or whoever, and he did a wave, and I was like, oh, this guy's got nice waves. Waves are really nice.
But yeah, so I remember like afterwards we were hanging out and then Abe was like, after my class, he had watched the whole thing and he was like making fun of me or making jokes and started like pretending to do the choreo. And I was like, hold on a minute. Like, you actually remember all of that? And he was like, oh yeah, it's just like this. I'm like, this motherfucker. Like, he watched the class, he remembers that. And I was like, bro, please take the class next. Like, imagine if you actually took it. And he was like, oh, do you reckon? I was like, yeah, try it. Like, you'll probably be good at it. And he was like, all right. And then just came in and started fucking smashing it. And then.
So yeah, you were my start for getting into like dance and stuff like that.
The organized
Nice.
side of it, I guess.
You were the person who like kind of molded me and was like, yo, come
mate.
and dance. And you were the person that I always looked up to and was like, I want to fucking smoke that guy, bro.
Yeah. Lee's like, never happened, no, did it?
Yeah, well, we entered some tournaments that you didn't win and I did, so let's just put it that
Oh,
way.
all right.
All right.
You've both beaten me a lot of times.
Depression coming back.
What did you win that he didn't?
One Piece.
Oh, true. Who did you
yeah.
lose to?
The one
Chase.
time.
Oh, and then he beat him.
Yeah,
True.
yeah.
Avenger.
That was after Chase just won Euro Battle.
Oh yeah, he was on fire that.
He was
that
on
time.
fire that time, and I just, doused that shit.
The one battle.
Yeah. I think that was the only battle I've ever won. But yeah, no, I started after Toy Box, then I started competing in Poppin.
Yeah. Was it after?
After Toy Box, I
You weren't
started
doing.
competing properly.
Oh, because you were doing Crump during.
yeah,
Toy Box.
that's what I was doing Crump. I don't know if I was
Oh
doing
my
Crump
God.
during Toy Box, or
Bro,
just before I started.
You were.
properly
You were. It was in Toy Box. I remember you used to do Crump freestyles. I remember.
Yeah, you used to like use it as a little tester. You'd be like, oh, I
Yeah.
don't know anything about Crump, but let me just try this. And we were like,
Yeah.
that looks like fucking Crump to us.
It was I remember coming home because I was with Abby at the time, innit? And I remember coming. She was like, "Oh my god, it was so powerful." Yeah, it was sick.
Oh, I love when people that don't dance describe dance as powerful. It's so funny.
Well, the thing is,
Even when it is powerful, it's just still something funny.
Bringing it back to mental health, Lee said something that I was like, I don't want to pop ever again, bruv.
What?
Lee, yeah, bro. You were like, yeah, when you pop, bruv, you look like a choreo dancer trying to pop. And I remember watching choreo dancers popping and being like, bruv, that doesn't look good at all, bruv.
It's like you get home and you're like,
that,
this isn't a compliment.
when he told me that, I was
Did
like,
I really?
yeah, bro. When you told me that, I was like, I'm learning crump now. I was like, bruv, I'm not entering these competitions looking like a choreo dancer doing popping, bro.
As me go home and I'm like, destroyed.
The plan's working perfectly. It's off the table. But yeah, then I went to Kev's that one time, had 1 week of training at Kev's, and then I went to the UMA battles too. And then I started popping. But to be honest, like, although I trained a lot, I think it was crump I was more into training and competing seriously.
Yeah.
I think I did enter a few popping battles, but it was very scarce and few and far.
Why do you think that was? Because you were older when you did pop-ins.
I was older, yeah, and I think also part of me was like, bruv, this dance that time I did a lot of crump. I did a lot of events. Like I was out like basically every day crumping for at least, sounds weird, crumping, dancing for at least 3-4 hours with wet wipes. And I basically was like raised around them. Yeah,
you used to train hard, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
And then I think once I started winning a bit of crump and like achieving what I wanted to achieve in that, I was like, I want to go to popping now because there's more events, there's more accolades and stuff.
Especially
like
at that time.
Yeah. But also that when I started doing it, I realized that the entry point was higher. Although there's more events, there's more like, that was at the time as well where a lot of international poppers were coming down to the UK to pop. So it was even harder to get through prelims and stuff like that. And then I don't know what it was. I was just like, I've kind of had enough of dancing 24/7. Just take a little bit of a break. But yeah, now I just dance when I feel like it.
Do you mind if I jump in and ask something? Is that right? Look, so when you said,
am I allowed to do the
can I do the
No, my questions. Email them 48 hours in advance or not. Yeah, go on.
So when you said like you had enough for dancing 24/7, it's like when was that and like what happened? What did you do afterwards?
What did I do? I think at that point as well. Wait, when did I injure my leg?
Oh yeah, that was in Throwdown.
Yeah, no, Troc. Yeah.
Oh, true.
It wasn't at Troc. It was it was at Hip Hop Battle, but that was.
I think it was Troc.
Yeah, that was the first time. Yeah, no, it wasn't Troc. It was a D-Lo event in near Shoreditch. Right. No, it was near Shoreditch.
Yeah. Oh, the second time was in Troc.
Yeah. No, that was the first time. The second time was at your house. In my sleep.
It definitely happened at Troc then.
Yeah, it might have. It probably popped out at Troc, but I do
know what he's talking about. Is that the bar that D-Lo used to hold all the events?
So for the
Great Portland Street.
So for the audience, I have a. Well, it hasn't happened in a while, but my fibula. I'm quite bow-legged, so my fibula head would dislocate, and it was quite a rare injury. I'd go to the doctors and be like, yo man, this dislocated, and they'd be like, you're chatting shit. No, it didn't.
Right.
So then after that, I did that like a couple times. Physio, doctors, all of them saying I'm chatting shit. So I'm like, fair enough. I'm just going to pop it back in by myself. And popped it back in by myself for like 15 times until my ACL was like, yo, I'm not attending anymore. This shit keeps on popping out. it's just going to be loose.
Stress.
So then that happened. I was out for a year. That's when I moved down to Brighton. Oh
yeah, because you moved to Brighton. You were on crutches, then you moved to Brighton and basically wasn't dancing because you were injured. Yeah,
I was playing a bit of basketball, which I shouldn't have, but I wasn't dancing. Yeah. Then I came back and I was like, right, I'm gonna start dancing again. Moved in with Lee, and then I think this was before I moved in with Lee, but I was staying there for like a week or something like that. And bro, in my sleep, my knee popped. I woke up like, and no one was in. And we lived on the top floor, and I had to like buzz the ambulance in. So I had to like stand up in order to buzz them in, bro. Right. That was not pretty that morning, man.
I bet.
But yeah, I think because of that, when I injured myself, I started getting into playing video games, specifically Street Fighter.
Oh, really? Was it then?
Yeah.
I thought you were doing that from ages ago.
I was doing it, but not competing or taking it seriously or anything like that. I think most of my competitive energy went towards dance.
Okay.
And then that transitioned into
That's fascinating.
I didn't know that.
Like you needed to do so it was more the competitive side of it than the physical movement that was like not satisfying you.
I love winning, bruv. I love finding something that I'm good at and being like, and finding loads of other people who are better than it, better than me at it. Yeah, thank you. And being like, oh shit, I want to be better than all you guys, and training really hard. And I'd get like validation of myself if I could see the steps I was taking. Yeah. But yeah, that was me.
So you went into like playing Street Fighter and stuff.
Yeah.
And what? Because when you first told me that, I was like, "What do you mean?" Now I know. Now I know a bit more about like the competitive game world. But I was like, "What do you mean you play games?"
Yeah.
But like,
this was before like you had like these huge competitions where people were winning like millions of pounds.
Yeah,
or winning
yeah.
FIFA tournaments.
I hadn't heard of it.
It was all just online. I created like a YouTube channel again just for Street Fighter, and actually became pretty well known in the European scene and somewhat internationally.
And you like get hired to commentate on games and stuff.
Now I get hired to commentate on games and stuff like that.
That's so sick.
That's really cool.
Yeah. But like the funny thing is, where we would train at Troc, the Street Fighter lot would be just upstairs in HMV.
Oh, mad.
Really?
I remember
Yeah,
they had
yeah,
all the games out.
Yeah. That's
Oh,
like
sick.
they would have nights and they'd go up there and do tournaments and stuff like that. And I remember going up every now and then and being like, because I would get popcorn because I flipping love popcorn. I'd go up to View, get popcorn, and come back down and start training.
Bruv, imagine I lived with him right for 3 months, right? And there was one night I was trying to do work or something or drawing, and for an hour, all I heard was just, do you know when Abe just doesn't stop in it? I just heard this hum of, and then really, man, after nearly an hour, I was like, what is happening? What's that noise? And all I heard him say was, butter-kissed, man, butter-kissed. And he just wanted butter-kissed toffee popcorn. That was it. So for an hour, he just kept saying it until we went and got some.
Oh my God.
I still am a little bit annoying, but back then, bro, I was very bad.
Yeah. Imagine you just turned off all the equipment with that.
Podcast done. I'm a bit of a child, you know.
Yeah.
But
It's
yeah,
all good. Yeah, that's mad interesting to me, even though I was there for all of it. But what do you think was the like? How did you actually? I don't know if I've spoken to you guys about this, but like, what's your now being quite removed from it? Your perspective on the Toy Box days. So, like, for anyone that doesn't know, we were in a group together called Toy Box. It was the first time that because I started with a group called Ruthless, if anybody knows.
Oh, Ruthless.
I fucking
They were
love
sick.
Roof. Yeah, they were.
Good
they
old
were sick.
Ruthless.
Yeah,
Simeon
yeah.
Campbell, Daniel, Gene, all of those guys. You've probably seen them in like Bird and stuff now. But yeah, they were like my first ever like people that kind of brought me into a group and put me on stage, basically. And then
Sorry.
Go on.
Whenever you say that, I just remember that time like I performed with you guys. I fucked up like half the performance. Sorry.
yeah, Lee, he did one show with us, and then he was supposed to. It was like halfway through a routine, and it was at the end of the routine he had to go off stage. But there was a bit in the middle of the routine that was like repeated at the end as well. So I think he got confused. Halfway through the routine, just turned and ran off stage. And then we're carrying on, and I turn while I'm doing the movement. I just see him in the wings with his hand over his mouth, like, like just standing there, yeah, literally like that. And I was like, for fuck's sake, so we just carry. Like, I don't think it looked that bad, but to make you feel better, I do remember a time when we were backstage about to go on stage. Abe was like, I need to go to the toilet, and everyone was like, just wait until after shows. Like, no, I need to go. And they were like, wait, and they were like, don't go, like just wait, we're about to go on. And he was like, all right. We go on stage, start halfway through the first routine. I turn and I see Abe in the wings doing the same fucking face. Like he didn't realize that we had gone on. So he missed the whole beginning. And then halfway,
I come in and box it, bro.
Yeah, he did. Like he waited for one of the transitions and he just came on.
Bro, that was so sick. Bro, that was at the memorial dance for one of the kids at the school.
Was it?
Yeah.
No, that was at Amersham, I think.
Oh, I thought it was the
it might.
In the arms of the angel.
Oh god, that was a heavy fucking day. Do you remember
that was a heavy day.
I felt so out of place, man.
Yeah, I didn't enjoy that. We won't go into that, but yeah, go on.
But I remember like coming out and being like, toilet, where is everyone? They're not waiting out here. In the arms. Oh, bruv, the song's playing. They're on stage. Oh, bruv, the audience are right there. They can see me. Transitions coming. Don't think about it. Just go in. Like, I'm here, innit? I was always there. I remember looking at like some kid in the crowd who definitely looked me in the eye like, bruv, you were supposed to be here since the beginning, bruv. Like, I remember putting on such a like stone cold face, just like, nah, bro, don't worry. It's part of the
That's
thing,
part of it.
Yeah.
Oh fucking hell. Yeah, we've all had moments. I've had plenty of ones like that. But
So, yeah, Ruthless.
yeah, so I was in Ruthless. I was like a dancer basically, and that was like a lot of my first time performing. And then I wanted to start a group, so there was a few of us that kind of like got together and started this group that we called Toy Box. We did a lot of like choreo shows around the UK and stuff. Ended up having quite a big name because I think at that point it wasn't quite a thing to have like a whole group of people that no one had ever seen before. I think in the London scene there was a lot of crews that were like, oh yeah, Thingy's crew from Thingy, and that's the people that train at this place. Like everyone kind of knew. Oh, it's the guys from Boy Blue that started this thing, or
Especially when they weren't from London as well.
Yeah, we were like 12 like out of London people, or however many of us, like out of London dancers that were fairly good that just came, and we were organised and we were at all the stuff. Like one day we weren't there, and then one day we were there.
Yeah.
So I think we got quite a big name. Like I mean, quite relatively big, as in people in the scene knew us and seemed to like us. We got programmed for a lot of shows.
We were pretty confident as well, and I think that helped. Yeah. So like we didn't really, I feel like in the dance scene, in the choreo dance world anyway, there was like a lot of hierarchy or whatever. Like people would know that this crew is like certain level, so it'd be good to hang out with them, but you can't just go over. I'm scared to do that. Like we came in and we didn't give a fuck about any of that. We're like, oh, you Boy Blue, yeah? Oh, sick. What are you saying, bruv? Like, you tried to battle the leader of Boy Blue straight away at Camberwell, bruv.
Yeah, true. At Camberwell,
Camber Sands,
yeah.
Really?
Yeah, you battled.
You were drunk as fuck.
Yeah, you were like, bruv, come, let's go. Pop in, house, break in. I'll battle you and everything.
Yeah, I remember you and Kenrick were going rounds in the cypher.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people respected that. But I think where that came from is in our ciphers and our training sessions, we'd always have like a little mini session afterwards where we would all just dance. And I think we had a really good, it was quite competitive, but it was still welcoming. Like we wanted everyone to dance. We didn't want it to be like, yo, man, like no one's judging you. But at the same time, we were like, yo, let's try and push our levels up. And we would gas each other up for doing rounds and stuff like that.
And I think also when you're, when you're an outsider, let's say, or when you're like the underdog, you kind of come with the mentality of like, well, the expectation is no one's going to like me or give a fuck, so I'm going to like make them kind of thing. So you kind of come in with a bit more like, all right, who wants it?
Who's
like,
on it?
Yeah. And I think we were kind of like that in terms of even putting shows on and stuff. We were like, well, no one fucking knows us, no one cares, so we have to be good. Like, let's make an impression.
That's interesting you say. You know what? Because like I feel like I didn't realize that attitude until later on. Like I like looking back at it now. Like that for me, that was all. I never rated status. It was only level.
Right.
So it was like, I'd like not even so much so like it's not even like I just didn't rate status. Like I never paid any attention to it. It wasn't like, oh, you're so and so or you're blah blah blah. Unless you were like Salah or Jadawi or something like that, like at the beginning, you know. But yeah, when it came into the UK scene, I was like, all right, who looks like they're the best? That's the person I want. You know, it's like when you see
I want to be better than them.
Yeah, that's the one, innit? And it's like if you weren't and you had status, it's like I couldn't care less, man.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I hear that. So because I mean. What was your, I guess, any general thoughts on that era? Because we were all fucking young, and my point of saying it was my first thing is because, like, I don't know what the fuck I was doing. I wouldn't say like the director of it, but I was more like the artistic, choreographic side of things. I didn't know how to be organized or how to work with people.
Tav was really good at all of that.
Yeah,
shit.
Tav was.
He was the kind of engine of the like how you all the like booking rehearsals. But like I didn't know how to do any of that shit really, and it was just me. He said, "Look, I'll take care of that. You direct the artistic side of like how is it going to look? What are we going to do?" And obviously there was other choreographers like you guys all contributed and stuff, but that was I guess my role. Which looking back, I was like, "Fuck, I was shit at that."
Shit at what? Sorry.
Just being the director. I think like. Choreography, I was like on my thing of like, oh, I want to get good at this and I want to learn how to be good and learn as much as I can about what makes a good choreographer and stuff. But in terms of turning that into an artistic director or like a directorial role of like, okay, but now it's not just coming up with a routine and giving it to people. It's like a whole direction of the group. Like, where are we going to go? What is our brand going to say? You know, that type of thing.
Yeah.
Which I wouldn't have even described it in that sense then, but now I'm realizing that's what I was trying to do. Like, I didn't know how to do any of that. I was just kind of free. I was like, yeah, all right, let's just do another routine. And I think this is what people like about us. So fuck it, let's do that. And Lee's good at popping. Lee, do us a popping thing. Like, do us some of them pops. But yeah, it was like, I really didn't know what I was doing. But so when I look back at Toy Box, I think it was cool in a way. I think a lot of my experience came from that. Like, we did a lot of shit with that and it taught me a lot of lessons. In loads of life way and in like dance way as well. But I definitely think I was like, fuck, I was like an 18, 19-year-old who didn't know what the fuck he was doing.
I don't think anyone knew what they were doing, bro.
True.
And I think it was, the thing I liked about Toy Box was just, we had room to grow and you gave us room to grow as well. Like, I remember coming to rehearsals once with a routine that I'd just made up and wanted to show everyone. I was like, guys, look at this. I was like a little flipping Energizer bunny. And you were like, fuck my routine. We're learning that. Teach us.
Yeah.
So like little things like that, you may not have known how much of an impact that had on me and to other people to show like, look, man, if you guys want to do your own thing, like you can do your own thing. Because there was like a period where like every rehearsal, someone else, it was like a thing that you did. You're like, someone else, right? You do it this week. Sammy's doing it this week. Tav's teaching this week. And like, we would all turn up and, you know. So yeah, I think it was really good for growth, confidence, or at least testing your own confidence and stuff like that.
We did feel fucking sick at that time.
Yeah, we did. We were pretty sick, to be fair.
Especially like our first ever competition that we pulled together, we won.
Yeah. I remember saying to you, I remember saying to you before Canvas Sands, but before we won, didn't I make you cry or something like that? Because I was like being super, super emotional with him. I was like, bro, you did this, man. Like,
yeah, he was, I don't know if he made me like cry, but I definitely was tearing. I remember him just gassing me about that, the whole, like, you don't know how much this means, man. Like, he'd be like, and I'm just like, I'm just trying my best, man.
Bruv, you're amazing, bruv. Look at us, we're here at Canvas Sands. No one thought we could do it. We've done it. What happened to the money?
Good question. No, I think like the impression I got was that Tav and Karina sorted all that out. That was what paid for our Vegas trip, like towards that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that is where I went in.
This is what I mean about, like, now I'd be like, right, I need everything in writing. Give me the receipts. What bank account? Like, I want to know everything. At that time, I was like, okay, we won $1,000. Hey guys, take it. Like,
you deal with it. Yeah.
But actually, now that I look back, I'm also like, how in the fuck did we get to Vegas? Like,
man.
I don't know where that money came from. We won. So just again for context, anyone listening, I'm trying my best to fill in context, but I've been talking to these guys like this for the last 13 years. So
sorry
if I miss some bits and we're talking as if we're just friends, it's because we are. So we, after this point, like, we had come into the scene a bit, doing a few things. We came second in the iDance, HHI, whatever you want to call it.
And there were some big London groups that came down to that as well.
Yeah, we did good. We lost to Peridot, I think, right?
We lost to Peridot,
so there was 2 parts to it. So you'd qualify, you'd go through, like there'd be like 25 groups, then they'd pick the top 12, and then those top 12 would perform the same set again, and then they'd pick the top 3. Yeah. Right. So then in the top 12, we came to qualify to the top 12. We came 4th. We were behind. So it was Peridot, then it was Kashmir's group from Birmingham, and then it was Ruthless, and then it was us, Toybox. And then so I remember Tav was like, yo, we're fucking qualifying. And then we went into Watford, we rehearsed, but there was an hour break, and we rehearsed solidly for an hour. And then
I don't remember all this.
Yeah, so
I remember this.
Solid for an hour, and then we came back to the competition. We were just all like wide-eyed, like we're just taking speed or some shit. Like, yeah, we'll fucking and then so we were like, yeah, we have to do this. Peridot weren't losing first place for sure. Yeah. They every year, man, that I saw them there, they were.
That was their home,
that was the first time I saw Peridot.
Oh, really?
Peridot as well.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
I was
like, oh, that's why they're first. Yeah.
When I think that might have been the first time I fangirled someone, like a big group in it.
You know what's funny? When I first saw Peridot, it was when I performed with Ruthless at GWI, and we came 4th, and the top 3 was Diversity, Peridot.
I remember watching that.
Someone else, I forget who 3rd place was, but it was like Diversity, Peridot, someone else, and then us 4th. And we just missed out from top 3. But that was the first time I ever saw Diversity. That was like, I think, one of their first big competitions. That was like 2008 or 7 or something.
I don't think I ever saw them until after Britain's Got Talent.
That was when, I don't know if they did that like slow motion thing running to the finish line, and it was like,
oh yeah.
This was like when they were still like just a group, you know.
Sick idea.
But yeah,
Peridot was smashing it, right? And then there was Kashmir's group who were just, they were like, it was really creative, like really creative. It was.
They were there when we first won it.
When we first came to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was amazing. Like, it was. I just remember watching it, being like, yo, I haven't seen anyone choreograph like this before. It was like really away from the structure of my routine, your routine, your routine. Yeah. It was like the first kind of thing I'd seen before I'd seen a developed version in Pro Phenomenon, you know, but it was like
that kind of European thing. Whereas I think a lot of the crews in the UK were doing like an LA format.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, very structured. And then after that was Ruthless. And I remember thinking with Ruthless at the time it was bad, but like wanted to win in it because they did a trick with hat and money, and you'd lose points for props on the stage and messing stuff up. And they messed up a hat trick and they threw money on the stage. I can't remember who it was that dropped the hat, but it was like a simple hat move, but someone dropped it, and then they didn't carry on the routine. They went pick it up and then jumped.
And
back
that
in.
lost them points.
Lost them points, and then what happened is I think we just and then outperformed Kashmir's group, and then so it was when it came to the actual finish of it, it was Peridot, us, then Kashmir's group.
Yeah.
And
So we moved up from fourth to second with the same routine.
I think I think someone spoke to, sorry to cut you off, I think someone spoke to one of the judges and they said, yo, we need to, our performances aren't that great. Like our facial performance, we don't look that confident and stuff like that. So if you can get that, because they were like, we really fucking like you guys, but these guys are outperforming you. So I think that's why we came back wired. So I remember coming back into the thing like, looking at people and doing all of them.
Yeah, it went nuts.
Yeah,
but you're right. Like, and then from there, it was what, like 3, because that was around March, April,
like 3
and then we
months,
went to Vegas at the end of July, beginning of August.
Jeez, was it only that long?
It was, like
didn't have that much time to,
because that was what the hustle was like we have 3 months to raise
Like $5,000.
It was enough for 8 people to go to Vegas, and like, because we had to pay for flights, we had to stay in the hotel. They give us a discount, but obviously you still pay because companies. And
that's so whack, man. Yo, enter our competition. Pay to enter our competition. All right, you qualified. You got to pay to get yourself there, by the way.
And
how much is it?
To stay in the hotel.
Lots.
Yeah. So we hustled. I don't know how the fuck, because I know we hustled, and this is the part where I'm like, part of me is like, I wish I was more involved to know where all the money was and where it went. But half of me is like, I think people put in their own money, so I don't want to know. Like, whoever got us to Vegas, thank you, because we were busking and like collecting buckets of coins and bringing them to the bank, and it's like that didn't get us to Vegas.
But you also didn't you also go to Sainsbury's and like bag people's?
I didn't do that.
I didn't do that.
We used to do
we
used to do all sorts of random shit. We used to do like,
you went on the radio as well.
I did a few workshops that I was like, if I said, like, I asked, can I do this workshop to fundraise? So it was like, I would teach and then the money would go towards that. We had the grand from winning Canvas Sands. We did the street show thing that we did, the all day thing in Watford.
Yeah.
Oh,
at the top,
the top. Yeah, because I think a lot of that was organised by Tab and Karina.
Yeah, they took the control of that, and then it was like, because also if you think about it, right, we took eight of us to Vegas, flights, accommodation,
2 hotels.
Yeah. Yeah, and then that's the thing. And then the second week we moved after the competition, we went to the Strip, and that was paid for as well. And we were like, who paid for? But I don't know if we got a hookup or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was mad. And
then on top of that, everyone went shopping for like 3 days straight as well.
Yeah, I think we all brought our own money for
we did buy
spending.
Money for
I had
spending.
no money.
Food.
My boy, your boy Joe Huguez.
Yeah,
he hooked me up with some.
Oh, did he?
Yeah,
really?
Thanks, Joe.
I love Joe, man.
Yeah, that was a mad one going Vegas, and that was like quite early on. Which was like what year did we go? 2010, I think.
2009.
2009 we went to Vegas.
Me and you went 2010 with Cash.
Oh yeah, true.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's mad because in I think it was when we went with Cash 2010. That was the first time we saw Monster.
Monster Pop was there before because I remember watching him.
Oh, okay, so maybe it was 2009 because when we were me and Mus and you were in Portugal in Eurobattle in 2011, 10 or 11.
I think it was 10.
And he came up. I remember when we first met Monster because he came up to us and he was like, "Oh, you guys were in Vegas, right?"
Okay.
So it's like it's mad. Like that early on, we started meeting people in the battle.
I remember
scene.
hanging out with him in Portugal.
Him and Scramble Lock.
Yeah.
But you guys knew of Monster before that because I remember when I first saw him. I think it was I can't remember if it was you or Lee, but you were like, "Yo, man, this guy's sick." You're like, "This guy's sick. He does tutting routines for. He did tutting routines for Canada."
Oh,
Canada's group. He was like, "Yo, this guy's sick." So I think you met Monster before that because you knew Monster when I first saw Monster at Vegas.
That's weird. Maybe we just knew him from.
Or maybe you knew of him, but you weren't. Yeah, you weren't friends.
I think because we first met him in Portugal when we were there.
Yeah.
But that's mad. Yeah. So we went. We've been through a lot.
We did a lot, man. Yeah, man.
Yeah. How do you feel like you guys saw the scene when you first started? Because obviously I have my opinions and I speak about it a lot with people, but I think we haven't had a lot of these conversations because obviously we were in a mad different position. Now I'm like, I'm 30, you're 31. I'm almost 30. Well, actually, by the time this comes out, I'll be already 31. Birthday podcast. And I'm looking at the scene from a very different perspective of like, I'm older, more experienced. I kind of know, where all the bullshit is. I also know where all the good shit is and the power and where the money is and what the career options are. And not that I'm an expert, but I think I have a lot of experience and knowledge in how the scene works and what what goes on basically. But fucking when we started, we didn't know shit.
Nah, man.
And the scene was very different, I find. But like, what was your impressions? Like, do you remember like first coming to like Throwdown or any of the battles or even the choreo things? And like, how did you see it? Was it weird? Was it like, how did you see yourself in the scene?
I just thought it was fun, man. I thought it was just like a laugh. I remember Throwdown. I remember like all these nights out. It was like, how can I explain it? It was like a dance equivalent of like going to. Did you guys ever go to like these places when you were younger? Like these clubs. You weren't in school. Like you would go to them on the weekends or whatever, or maybe even after school. That would just have like video games, pool,
like a youth club.
Like a youth club. Yeah.
I
just like everything felt like that. Like all these different, but specifically for dance. I was like, oh, just a bunch of cool people that like to dance turned up. We dance because even like for people that may not have ever danced or been in the scene. Like I remember really looking forward to not even the performance and the night of it wasn't even the main thing I'd look forward to. I'd look forward to getting there before the doors had even opened to the general public.
Really?
And we were chatting with all the other dancers.
Like in tech runs and stuff.
Yeah, we'd get to see all the other dancers' tech runs and everyone would be super gassed and everyone would talk, oh, your tech run was sick. Oh, my days, you guys did that. Like that. I found that so
I've
cool.
had conversations with this about this with Tally and people where it's like they were saying like the tech run was the show.
Yeah,
Like,
it was definitely.
It was like show/competition because it was like you were looking at who's going to wear their like some people would have outfits to turn up at the tech run too. Then they would have an outfit to perform the tech run in, and then one to actually do
really
the show.
Yeah. We've spoken about this before, but
madness.
And then like I feel like for us sometimes I used to be like either we're like doing it in the costume like or something, or like we're going to be cocky and do it in our own clothes. Like the set's good, so like just wear whatever you want.
I think there was a period when we got to sorry, we'll get back to what we
That's all right.
what Lee thought, but there was I think it was not set for set. What was Tony's thing?
Show and proof?
Show and proof. Oh no. Oh fuck me, Collabo.
It was at Collabo. When we did Collabo, bruv, I remember our tech run for Collabo. We all came out in our normal clothes, bruv, and we walked about that stage like we fucking owned it, bruv.
That was, I think, Collabo was like the height of when we were feeling ourselves.
Yeah. I remember just you guys being like, "Yo, yeah, so." All right, remember, and then it's like we're talking to each other whilst we're doing the tech run, and then you go forward, on this bit, you go forward. I'm going forward, bro.
Just like acting as if we're the most seasoned professionals, like as if we're like on a music video set, like.
Yeah, that was hilarious. But yeah, what did you think about it, Lee?
About what? Sorry.
About like what did the dance like? How did you?
Yeah, how do you see the scene?
Yeah,
it's weird. I have like a really foggy memory of it all. Like.
Depression will do that to you.
Back to mental health.
Yeah.
Hard to feel happy about. It was interesting, man. Like it was I think the first, like maybe the earliest memory I have of it is like getting in like a car with Zach from Breaking. So we had this crew in Watford, and it was just we used to train with b-boys all the time. So they had this kind of really rugged, really disorganized way of doing things. So we'd like one night.
I wonder if much has changed.
Yeah, I remember like now, like when you hear an event, there's flyers, there's weeks out, blah blah, there's promotional, this sort of shit. Like when I first heard about it, it was like 16, 17, maybe a bit older, maybe 18 or so. And I remember the first few events we'd go to, Zach would just be like, yo, cool, this Thursday we're not going training, we're going to go this jam. Yeah. And I was like, oh, what does that mean? So we just wear what we'd wear to training. So just like some shit top and tracksuit bottoms, whatever. And we just get in a car. There's obviously you can only take like 4 or 5 people. There's like 8 of us in the car. Just go down to London. I'm with all these grown-ups like, wow, this is crazy. And so we'd go into a club and whatever, and it would just be the maddest thing I've ever seen. Because like before I was like 17, 18, I just never left Watford. So we'd be driving into London at like, or sometimes we'd go after a training session. So we'd stink. We'd go into a training, and then we'd go into London at like 10, 11. I was like, what's happening?
Yeah.
Like I should be in bed. Like, this is crazy. At 18, as an adult. But and
this is crazy.
It was wild. Yeah, so we'd like be in the car, and then I just remember like it all being super dark and lights flying past the car. And I'm like, what's happening? Music pumping in the car. Everyone's getting super hyped. And then I remember one day we like one of the times we went. It was my first ever view of Tower Bridge, and I just remember like kind of waking up from a little nap in the car, and just Tower Bridge lights were going over the head. I was like, oh, where are we going?
Yeah,
I think we went to Brixton. It might have been Plan B or something. So we went in there, and it was just the maddest thing in the world. It was super dark. Like people just, it was constant movement. Like no one was standing still, like and just watching. Like everyone was moving from one cipher to another, like just kind of moving around, like battling, whatever, getting their drinks, getting their whatever. And it just seemed like, do you know in those movies, right, where there's like the main protagonist, right, like kind of gets shown the underworld.
Yeah.
And then you walk in and they go to club and they're like, wow, you've got this here? Yeah. It really felt like that. It was like, wow, you've got people that can do this stuff. Not only do this stuff, but there's like this whole like, world where no one knew about this thing and everything was really dark. And
at that time, there's like no social media, not really YouTube and stuff. Man, so it really was like it
really esoteric. That's like, that's the best way I would describe it. It's like if you only knew about it if you knew someone who knew about it.
Yeah.
It was super weird, man. But yeah, it was. And then after that, it was just like Abe said, just really fun. Like you would just go to an event. Because again, obviously we didn't live in London and we weren't traveling in every week. So we'd normally all go to an event together, right? So when we go in, do our thing, and we just play. Like it just felt like a big playground. So I'd go, I'd be like, all right, cool. So I'm battling this person, cool, doing this, whatever, blah, blah. So then for the first 2-3 years before I qualified for champs and actually got a name, it was just like, I would just go in and play. I would just, it was amazing.
And we used to fucking love like stuff like champs and like, I actually miss a little bit. I miss being a fanboy because like we were big time fanboys and like, now I think it's obviously, like I said, it's a different perspective because some of the people that the kids now are like fanboying fans of, I'm like, either like I'm the same age as that person, or I'm like, oh, I fucking hung out with that person in Germany. Like, you know, like they're not like a mystery to me. I'm like, oh, that's fucking, I don't know who I'm thinking of, but like.
That's Dave from down the road.
Yeah, like a lot of these dances, the scene feels a lot smaller to me because I've traveled a lot and met a lot of people. So I'm kind of like, oh, you're fanboy. Like we used to fanboy people that we would like almost felt like we would never meet.
Yeah.
And now it's kind of like, oh, you're just fanboying fucking that guy from France. That's my friend. Like I can introduce you to him if you want. Like there's no point in getting excited about that person. That's how. Yeah, that's kind of how it feels. But I know it's the same. Like probably there's people that felt like that when we were kids. But I remember we used to like. You guys used to tell me like, oh, they're announcing the UK champs guests today. Yeah. And we used to refresh the page on the internet to see who was. It was like, because I think they'd either do it like one day at a time or like something like that. And
it'd be really slow. It was brilliant suspense they'd have. Like they'd be like, okay, cool. So the champs is in 2 weeks or so, and here's the guest list for the crews, the B-boy solos and the poppers, right? Yeah. Oh my god! And we would, and then but it'd be sick. They'd have this this name, that picture of the poppers. It'd be like Kite or something like this, and then they have a big profile of like exactly, blah about them, bruv. And we just get so excited, bruv. Champs was
the guests were fire.
Every
Champs
year,
was the
man.
One, yeah. And the thing is, I think I was a bit more naive to the whole dancing because I was younger than you guys. So you guys would all go to this shit first, and then I'd hear you guys talking about how sick champs is, and then be like, "Fuck, I gotta go to fucking champs, man."
Bruv.
But I remember you guys getting gassed. I remember the websites. I remember you going to the judges and showing me.
Just like all the judges, and it was like, oh, this person, and then I remember with the b-boys, like. You two used to know all the crews and stuff. It's like, oh, fuck, Morning of Owl are going to be there. And then I'm like, oh, sick, that's so cool. And then I'm YouTubing like, Morning of Owl, who are they? And I'm like, yeah, they're really good. That set that they did last time in Korea. Like,
I know things.
Yeah. But like, yeah, man, I think that used to be fucking sick. And I kind of miss that. Like, I spoke to Jadawi about it when we were in Gloucester. But like, it's kind of weird being friends or like knowing these people that I'm like, oh, like you battled Salah and you worked with him on a few jobs.
Yeah, super weird.
Yeah. And like these people that it's like, I have their numbers now to call them and be like, what's up? Or like, just chat. And I'm like, I'm fucking having a conversation with these people. Whereas like when I first started, I was like.
You looked up to them, man.
Yeah, like Lee and Mus used to bring the Just Taboo and UK Champs like DVDs.
Yeah, I used to watch them.
And we used to watch them.
Wow, man. That was sick.
Yeah, and it used to be like, who was it? Jay Smooth and who did Jadawi and Pepito against, like, was it Jay Smooth and Salah or?
No,
Salah and I, Mike.
And someone else. Salah and I, Mike, and Jay Smooth had a different, I think he might have been with Slim Boogie. No, not Slim Boogie.
He was with Bionic Man.
Oh, Bionic Man. I thought it was
That's that knowledge. But these are the old battles that used to feel like I would have paid like 50 quid to see it live.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was like fully worth the money back then. Yeah. It was like, wasn't oversaturated.
Yeah.
Super high level. And it was just this, like, I don't know. Do you know how some people view boxing like, oh, I want to see this person versus this person, like their style. Like that was what it was like, man. It was just, you'd see these people, oh man, like, oh, Jadawi's facing blah, 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 blah. And it's like, Like, and when I think, what was it, 2007 or so? Maybe because it was around that time when, do you remember when IBE, they did that big popping battle?
Yeah. And it was,
Infamous People versus something else. Or something.
I don't know, man.
MGF, and then it was
Solar and Friends versus MGF.
Yeah.
Right.
that one.
That was
and
amazing.
then Kite did on the Michael Jackson song, and he did the feet.
I saw that again the other day. Still bangs.
That was fire. But this is what I was going to ask you, actually. It's a good segue. But like, do you feel like the scene and the events have changed and lost that magic, or do you think we've just got older?
Good question. You know what? I was speaking to Spin about about something along this line recently, and because he put on a couple of events, kind of at the latter end of the pandemic, and he wrote up that basically people were just really enjoying dancing again.
Yeah.
And I've seen the events. I don't know who's putting them on, but the one inside that park in like the...
Isn't it Breaks?
Is it Breaks putting them on, yeah?
I could be wrong.
I thought it was. So. I didn't want to like just assume it was.
Oh,
but
I'm just assuming it was.
I think, I think it's Breaks that is...
The Loud Cloud. Something.
Yeah, Loud Cloud. Yeah, I think it's Breaks that's organising those.
If it's not, apologies to whoever is running it, but we think it's Breaks.
Yeah. Let's just give Breaks a credit. Breaks.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, I'm just like, I kind of want to, like, I kind of miss that feeling, you know, because it's like, whatever he's doing with them now, it just looks like people are just there to enjoy dancing. Like, I remember I was watching him on Chase's stories recently, and it's just, everyone was just gassing everyone. Like, I saw, like...
I've not heard of this thing.
There's a session outside in a park.
It's amazing. Do you know, like, is it like a little bidet garden?
It was
bandstand.
That's
thing that started that. And it wasn't Breaks. It was Holistic that started that.
Oh, was it Holistic?
Yes,
Holistic. It might have been from the trainer session. So maybe it was like, but I'm sure Breaks has been promoting them. Maybe it's them two together.
Holistic started the bandstand.
Okay. Okay, cool. So Holistic and Breaks.
There we go. Sorry, guys.
Get your facts straight, mate.
Sorry, bro. Yeah, and it's just like, I remember seeing one particular clip of I think it was Dixon, and he was just did the maddest floor move, and everyone just was screaming for it, and I was like, yo, that's what it should be like.
Yeah,
you know? So I feel like, I think it definitely got oversaturated, 100%. And I think the pandemic did it great, because like, I mean, you spoke about it for quite some time in the last couple of years about people being annoyed, like event organizers being annoyed that people don't show the right love at their events, or people don't turn up and show support, quote unquote, for the community. And the argument you always put forward was put on better events. Like, cater your event to the people that are coming, and don't just expect them to come and deliver this stuff for you because you've opened the doors to them, or put on music, you know? And it's like, I feel like right now people are appreciating anything. And I think that's what happened at the beginning. We just went and we saw something that we didn't get to see regularly, again, like a YouTube, whatever. And there is a definite different experience into seeing something in real life than on video. But then events started happening every week, and then multiple events started happening every week. And then you'd get events around the world in different places, even in Europe, like almost daily. So you could see the same person do the same, quote unquote, freestyle or sets or moves or whatever, like week after week. And it just got
boring.
Yeah, it just got boring, man.
So to cut you off, the one event that never flopped on that, because I think you're right, but the one event that always like maintained such a nice atmosphere and it was really fun to go down was Throwdown. I think like all
Throwdown was amazing.
But Throwdown was
amazing.
Look at the time it was in.
Yeah, look at the time, but also Throwdown was once a month, and every month they'd have breaking in a different
style,
top style. So you'd have hip hop 1 month, then popping, then locking,
house,
then house. So it's like, if I'm a hip hop dancer, I do hip hop, and I'm waiting 3 or 4 months at least until the next hip hop battle.
Yeah.
So, and obviously you had other ones in between, but it's still like, it gives you time to care again, I guess. I think that's why it didn't lose the magic.
And different types, because they wouldn't just be like, oh, 1-on-1 breaking. It might be 3-on-3, 2-on-2, or different types of people. And they'd have different guests coming down.
Yeah.
Like, I remember being on the bus once going to Throwdown, and there was B-Boy Morris on there. I was like, this is sick.
Yeah.
It was just like, just different stuff.
And
all the time.
week before UK Champs, Throwdown was always sick as fuck.
Yeah. They'd have exactly, and because you had everyone from Champs wanted.
Because it would be the Thursday of one Thursday in every month, so it would be the Thursday before Champs was that weekend.
Yeah.
So everyone would start to come into town around then, and you'd have all the popping battles like around the time of Champs would be fucking fire.
Amazing, man. Yeah.
They do like 7. I remember there's like a 7 to Smoke. I think Day won 1 year. And
I don't remember.
Yeah.
I remember going up to her afterwards and being like, yo, man, you're fucking sick. She was like, thanks, man. And she was like really big, and I just didn't know who she was. I was like, yo, man.
Just some random person.
Who are you?
She's like, these fucking kids. Yeah. So you think that the pandemic kind of brought back the magic that we had at the beginning in a way?
Yeah, I think so. There's actually another point I wanted to raise on a bit of a tangent. or a segue somewhere else, is that I think a lot of the people that we grew up with started doing other things. And I think that allowed us to not give dancing or competition the responsibility of giving us everything we wanted from something creative.
Okay.
So
what do you mean, sir?
So like, all right. So just as an individual, for me, it was like, oh, popping battles is where I express every single thing that I want to do creatively. I want to tell people a big story. I want to win. I want to have fun. I want to do something conceptual. I want to learn. And it was like, oh, in 30 seconds to a track that I don't know, you know? And it's like, it just wasn't the place for that.
Yeah.
And then I started doing hip hop theater. I started doing commercials. I started taking my art more seriously. I started learning other things. And then I realized, oh, there was actually a place to learn about myself in that wasn't a battle. There's actually a place that I could win that wasn't in a battle. There's a place that I could perform and be a different character that wasn't that, you know? And I watched other people do that in different things. So you get other people that battled heavily, right? So from our generation or whatever, Brooke went off and choreographed heavily. Dixon had other avenues with
like sick contemporary dancer.
Amazing, right? And then Frankie went off and competed around the world, so kind of come back or whatever. And then you'd see like other people creating content. So then you had promotion watch,
even like Shadow, like doing like more online stuff. And
exactly,
that type of
right? So then you see these people around, and it's like it's like they extended their creative reaches. And that
which I feel like a lot of battlers are doing these days. Yeah,
and it's really nice, man. Like it's nice seeing that. For me, it just allows me to appreciate people a bit more and kind of just appreciate other areas of another field. You know, I think that's what I like about our group of friends so much, is that we all do something else.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, and I think even like at that time, like it was weird for us to see. Oh, hello.
Welcome to my world.
Whoops.
It was weird for us to see like dancers doing something else besides battles. Like I remember there was a few times. I think it was like a Katy Perry video where there was like Slim Bug and Day Day's in there and a few other people.
What?
You know I think it's I Kissed a Girl or something.
What?
And I just remember seeing that and I'm like, oh my god, they're in a music video. Like it was just alien to us that dancers do anything else but battle.
Yeah.
Because at that time they didn't really. Like not a lot of people did, like, or at least we didn't know about it.
Yeah. Like earning money in different avenues as well was a really weird one.
Yeah.
Because I mean, on your last one, like Ivan was talking about that, about having like different outlets to build into, man. And I think like, I don't know, maybe I'm talking about that now just because it's like, it's nice to see. It helps me appreciate their dancing alone. Like when I see them do other things and I see them doing maybe another creative field or even just other things within their dance, you know, like creating different content, teaching a bit more or whatever. Like just think it's nice.
Yeah, true. I love to see it, especially from people like, I find that with Brooke a lot. I love seeing his like creative projects more. Lee's losing concentration.
I'm still listening. I just haven't moved at all like a day and a half.
Love you guys.
Yeah, Brooke's choreography was always something that blew my mind.
Yeah.
I remember there's like, it's weird because like my dance scene experience is proper foggy as well, but there's like specific things that I always remember. I remember the first time seeing Brooke, and it's always the first time I see a dancer and you guys have gassed them up. I remember it.
Right.
It's funny that you're saying this because I was going to ask you like who you looked up to in the scene.
I didn't look up to anyone, to be honest. I didn't really have like Lee's the only person I looked up to.
But as in, who were the people that you came and you're like, fuck me, they're like, sick?
The only part I fanned out on, there's two times I fanned out. The first one was when we were in Vegas and I saw So Real Crew.
Yeah, but I remember that.
I used to watch So Real Crews like YouTubes all the time. I loved them, man. Yeah, man. I fucking loved them, bro. So when I saw them, I was like, I watch you every day. The only other time I fanned out hard was, what's his name? He's going to kill me. What's his name? Who's the flipping best B-boy in the UK? Not Spin, the other guy.
Mouse?
No. Sonny, thank you.
It's the first time seeing Sonny. Yeah, I know. Sorry, Sonny. The first time seeing Sonny.
Also, he lives in Holland. So.
He lives where now?
Holland.
Is it?
I think so.
Of course he does, bro. Holland's fucking sick. I'd live in Holland, bro. Fucking.
In it.
Yeah, move to Holland. Anyway, back to the go
we
on.
should probably. Seeing Sonny at Throwdown for the first time. The kid was like 13 at the time.
Yeah,
man.
And that
I used to sneak him in.
Yeah, that was the first time I saw anyone like so high up level above everyone else in the UK. Because like I feel like in the UK at any given time it could be someone's day. Someone could turn up and smoke anyone else. Right? But I remember watching Sonny and being like, yo,
That's some
I
sick
don't
shit.
even like watching breaking. These kids fucking everyone up, bro.
Yeah.
And he knows he is as well. I found out hard on Sonny. Yeah.
Yeah, he was really special.
Yeah, man.
Like, yeah, for sure.
He was. Yeah, you could tell. You're like, yo, you got next up. And I think he was battling like a big American breaker as well at the time in that battle. It was like 2v2.
Don't know.
No idea.
Well, what you can say about like Brooke and Sean and people like that?
Yeah, I remember the first time seeing Brooke and seeing how sick he was and being like, yeah, no, this guy's sick. First time seeing Sean and really, really loving his dance. First time seeing Holistic and being like, this kid's special. There's a lot of people. And again, like I would always meet them after you guys had already met them.
Right.
Already spoken about them. So I didn't meet Breaks or Boogs until after they won that G-Style event.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, these are these guys. So for me, it was quite interesting always meeting these people because I've already got a certain bit of background knowledge in them already, you know. Whereas Sonny was the only one that I didn't have any knowledge. I didn't know who he was.
Yeah, I think we didn't necessarily know him either.
But yeah, I think the thing is, and again, I think I credit this to Toy Box. I always came in like I was just hungry, bruv. I just wanted to beat.
Yeah.
I could beat you. Yeah, I could beat better than you. Like technically I wasn't there, but I think I felt like creatively, or blow ups wise, there was like little pockets that I could find where I could.
You had the confidence in.
Yeah, I had the confidence to go at anyone if I wanted to.
Yeah.
Like I even remember I went to Greece for this dance event.
So before you tell you that's such a weird story for me. I just remember this time where you always talk about it, like you won this thing in Greece and Jadawi was the judge. And I just remember thinking, why did you go to Greece for a competition? Like
because it was not just a competition. There was like, it was hot. It was in a lovely hotel. Everything was paid for. And they had like the sickest different judges doing work.
Why is that any weirder than us going to Portugal?
Because it was like, he went on his own. And I'd never heard of the competition before or afterwards. I still don't know what the name of it was. I just remember Abe just went to this competition and won in Greece. I was like, what? Where did you go?
Neither do I, to be fair.
It just sounded like Jay from In Between Us. Yeah, I won in Greece.
But even there, like I battled Jidawi, and like at no point was I like, oh fuck, I'm doing rounds versus Jidawi. I was going at him. I was like, come on, bro, let's fucking do it. I was like, oh, that was sick. All right, watch this. Like,
how come you battled him?
We didn't. It wasn't like a battle like in the competition. It was just like in the club at night time. We were just going back and forth.
Yeah. Do you remember? Speaking of Jadawi battling in a place that wasn't a competition, do you remember him and Monster going back and forth in the after party for Euro Battle?
I remember of it, but I can't. Yeah, no, I think I do actually.
And everyone, like the club was like until like 7 in the morning, and everyone was smoking inside, like, and it was just mad foggy, and they were just like,
oh, bruv, I wish I went Euro Battle with you guys, man.
Those beginnings, like the first 3, I think, were like sick, especially for us being young and.
There was the last time you guys went Euro Battle. I think Bailey went there and everything like that. I decided to go to Germany to some other dance event that was out there, but I definitely remember being like, bruv, I should have gone Euro Battle, bro.
You know what? Actually, since you're saying that, like to answer your question a bit more accurately, earlier about how I look back at the dance scene, I think it's those moments that make it up for me. So it's not I don't remember really any name of any competition that I actually won or even got to the finals in or whatever. Like the first thing that comes back to my mind is like just having a laugh at people or like really having like any funny moment that we would have together, just in a different country or a different event. Like that's what comes to me. And then it's like, oh yeah, do you remember that time when there was loads of Vogers in Germany and then
it was like super new to us.
Yeah, it was. Oh yeah, well, I'm lying. Do you remember this time when they had this? And it's like
we have so many stories and memories.
Yeah, like so many, man. Like just even just telling about people about Vegas alone. Like I'm always like, we came 25th and whatever. So the fun
this
part
is the fun part. I got drunk in Vegas for the first time ever. Let me tell you this story.
That was a great story. No, I hear you, but it's like like collecting the memories, not the trophies, I guess.
Yeah.
All right.
Because it really was like when we were in different countries, it was just like, guys, we're in Vegas together.
Yeah. It was really weird.
We're in Spain.
And like not only are we in Vegas together, we're in Vegas like to dance because of our group, like that we won or whatever. It's like, it feels fucking
that was really cool.
Sick when you're 19.
Bruv, it feels sick when you're 30, man. I remember we went to Baku and we get paid like fucking $6,000 for this fucking stupid job. I say stupid in like a really complimentary way of just like, as in like, I can't believe we got to do that kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah, not like, oh, it was shit, like it was fucking sick. And I remember the stuff that we had to do, and then Harry,
So this was just for context. This is the Youth Olympic Games. No,
European Games. So this
There
was
we
the
go.
first ever European Games held in Azerbaijan, Baku. Hilarious that it was held there. Like, it just, for me, I was like, I'd never even heard of this country, and the first ever European Games held there. We went to the beach one day, and the sea was covered in oil. I was like, oh, that's why we're here.
Brilliant.
And anyway, so we're doing the closing ceremony, and we just had to do this popping routine that, because of our choreographic backgrounds, there was me, Brooke, Nick, and Harry doing the routine with Blueprint.
Was Chase there as well?
Chase was there. He wasn't initially. I think he was meant to do the choreographic routine, but because they wanted 5 of us in the middle, I think they only had 4 of us, 2 of us either side.
Cool.
It's a bit annoying because it would have been sick with 6 of us, but whatever, you know. Anyway, so we do this routine, and we learnt the routine in the so basically we did 4 weeks of rehearsals in total. We did 1 week rehearsal in the UK, and then 3 weeks in Baku. Initially, they were like, okay, cool, you're going to learn, you're here to just do specialist popping routines. We'll teach you that. We learned it within 2 minutes. Like, so obviously, because we've all got huge backgrounds in choreography, Blueprint was like, oh my God, you learned it already? We're like, yeah, cool, what's next? He was like, that's it. We're like, okay, cool, man, we'll just go over that. So for the next week, they were like, all right, cool. So what will happen is we'll get you to do the other choreography as well. So then they made us do like lifts. There was the first time I've ever done that as well, right? Or whatever. And
You get paid extra.
No. Right?
Fun.
Yeah, this is where being an adult now, you probably would have been like, oh, okay, well, you want me to do a bit of extra? What are you saying?
Right? Yeah. Well, it ended up working out quite well but now I would do that. I'd be like, yeah, I want more money. Yeah. So we did the routines and stuff. We all had partners to work with and whatever. We went out there, and then for like 2 weeks, they put on this like robot costume on us with these like LED lights. And oh my God, one day, so these lights weren't I assume they didn't pass any government checks or they weren't well engineered. Because one day there was who's the redhead robot girl? Yaya. Yeah. So Yaya was one of the days she was wearing the light suit as well. She was doing a duo bit with Salah.
Oh, Salah, yeah.
And one day, man, bruv, do you know that biological response you have to protect someone when they're in danger? Yeah. Right? Bruv, that never switched on so quick in my life. We're all on stage, whatever, doing that. Everyone's chatting in between like a break or whatever. And I just heard this scream, man. And it was just the loudest, high-pitched, like noise-breaking scream I'd ever heard. And I turned around, and she's screaming at her leg because the LED lights they broke and they started burning her leg, man.
Fuck me.
Bruv, we all panicked. We all just started rushing over.
What do we do?
Right? The engineers got there first, and they ripped her suit off, right? And obviously, fucking hell, man. Basically, because she had sweated in it. Because the heat over there, it was in the middle of July, I think it was.
Yeah.
And it was like 32 up degrees, right? So she'd sweating in this fucking LED suit that hadn't had proper fucking coverings. Yeah. Anyway, so they'd been getting us to, up until that point, they'd been getting us to roll around doing this choreography in these fucking chunky suits. Do you know, like when a magician assistant or someone does like a quick change, but they don't just wear one so it looks sick, right? But they wear like 8, they wear so many layers that look like Joey from Friends. And you're like, oh, guess what I'm here to do? We kind of look like that. So we're rolling around the floor looking all clunky to the point where like a week before, they just go, all right, you know what? It doesn't work with that. Just do your choreography bit, your specialist part, which we'd learnt like 3 weeks ago. And it's like a minute and a half long. So we only had to do that. So we was like, oh, chilled.
Yeah.
And it was, I can't even remember the fucking point of the fucking story, but.
Tell it anyway.
Yeah. But it was just what
happened with Yaya?
Is she okay?
Yeah. Sorry. Like, her leg was burning. Anyway, I think we got to do the routine. It was really
the routine
cool.
was great. Yeah, sorry.
No, the point was what you were saying was that you appreciate the memories more than like the achievements.
Oh yeah, that was it. Sorry, yeah. Fucking hell. Tangent. Yeah, so we were outside the studio one day, and Blueprint was like, all right, you want to go over it or you got it? It was like, oh, no, we got it. And it was like, all right, cool, chill, whatever. Anyway, so go back to the hotel that night, obviously just after realizing that we only have to do this like minute and a half routine that we're fucking super confident with. And we're just getting drunk or whatever. And Harry goes, he goes, lads, I'm not going to do it. He goes, lads, why are we here? And I went, what do you mean? And he goes, why are we here? And I went, I don't know. And he goes, because I could do this. I did a wave for all of the listeners.
That is fucking funny.
It was amazing, man. It was like, that's like, bruv, I just remember on that trip, all we did, me and Harry, for like 2 weeks straight, we just woke up, played table tennis for an hour, went swimming, had breakfast, and then went training. It was amazing.
But you know what's mad? Like to bring it round to another topic, but it's like that. I think that feeling of like, holy shit, like we're getting flown out to another country and paid all this money just because I can do a stupid little wave. Like that feeling is what leads people to like not fight for their worth in jobs and stuff.
When they get comfy, you mean?
Like, because if somebody's like, oh, I want you to be on this music video shoot and it's going to be the whole day and it's only £100, that same feeling kicks in sometimes for younger people, I think, and they go, oh, well, all I'm doing is just I'm just freestyling twice. So why should I get paid more? Like, I'm not going to fight because it's just a way, you know what I mean? So where it kind of stops you from realizing your worth, because it wasn't like, I guess like the point of that story, or like, even though it was kind of lighthearted, but it's like Harry was feeling like, oh, I'm just doing a wave, and that for some reason got me out here, when it's actually the realization is like, oh, fucking a good wave is worth $6,000. You know what I mean? Like, and it's like, that's what I think knowing people don't get. Yeah, is they go, no, this fucking shit that I can do, it might be easy for me, and it might be like, I can just throw down a popping set whenever, but that's worth a shitload of money, and a lot of people can't do that, you know?
Yeah, but I mean, how do you quantify that though? Like to be able to understand your worth, to be able to demand enough for it, right? Because like, I mean, just to add a bit of context, like, so I work as a portrait artist now, like wildlife artist as well. So I do commissions or whatever. And like a big question I've been having recently is, how do you price work? Like, how do you price someone? So for anyone listening who doesn't know, Abe does acting, I do painting, and Luke does videography and photography, right? And we all do dancing. But in terms of our own individual things, it's like we have to price them ourselves. So we have to know, like, Abe has to know how much he's worth when it comes to a specific role. So, right? So like, I'm assuming it's going to be slightly different for a theatre show to a commercial to a film.
Well, I don't as much. And I think the reason is because there are
you don't work
for
as
that.
much.
I don't have to know my worth as much because I have an agent who handles that shit for me.
Okay, but like, just to add a little bit of question in there, right? Like, so in terms of, you don't need to know, but like, if you were to get offered £1 million, or you were to get offered a tenner to do like 4 weeks amount of work.
Oh yeah, no, there's definitely a conversation being had, but I think I've got that now because I've had multiple different agents and I've had multiple different discussions. But like, whereas before, when I was first into acting and like I'd get a job offer and my agent would come to me, I'd be like, are you happy with that? I'm happy with that. Yeah, sure. They'll do that for that amount of money.
So it's experience.
So it is experience, yeah. It's experience, yeah.
Which is mad.
But I think it's a bit different when we have to price it, because
yourself, yeah.
We kind of have each other that I'm like, Lee, I'm going to charge this much for a photography thing, and you're like, yeah, all right, fuck it. Whereas like his agent would come to him and be like, no, you're not. Like, you're not charging that
but
much.
I mean,
like,
I have had to do it with like Street Fighter, and I have had to do it with certain dance things, but I've always had people that have also been in the scene that understand like the financial aspect and stuff like that can bounce ideas off of.
You're very good. I don't know if you've noticed this about him. You're very good at finding mentors.
Oh, really?
Like, bro, your first, I've noticed this with you, your first objective in anything new that you do is who can I
that's a good point.
Who's not even like whose wing can I be under? Not like, oh, who's going to be my teacher, or who's going to like, because you're very self-sufficient, you're very talented, and you're very good at learning. So you do the work yourself, but the first thing you always do is whose wing am I under? You never go into anything like completely like alone, which I think is good, because again, it's the balance between not like, you're never reliant on anyone. And if they did bail, you could do things by yourself. But like, if we go from Toy Box, it was like me, and then Pop In, it was you.
Yeah.
Crump, you were with Wet Wipes. Like, I don't know in Street Fighter, but I assume there was someone that showed you the ropes. But Abe's, and he doesn't just choose anyone. He chooses someone who not only knows their shit, but is good at articulating their shit and has his back. So he finds all three of those things in someone like that.
I've never thought about it.
Yeah, but you know what? I'd say there's another quality in there, in that you look how that person is perceived by their peers. So you look at the top. So say like there's 5 people that all share those qualities who are at the top of a group. It's like, you won't pick any of them. You'll just pick one person, and it'll be like, and there's a reason you pick them, is because like, oh, they're the one.
Like, they're the one that people look at and revere, and like, or at least are like who he wants to model himself after.
That's interesting that you put it like that.
Yeah, but continue what you're saying.
What was I saying?
About having someone who can like help you understand your worth and stuff.
Yeah, just people who have your best interest at heart and who have been around and can just break down like
the industry.
The industry, what's your market worth? Like, I think that's something that I'm starting to come, the last couple of years, I've really started to come into my own, is understanding the industry, understanding my market worth. And that.
In terms of acting?
In terms of acting, in terms of anything, but acting was the point that I was focusing around, but it goes with anything, because I've helped people, like, for instance, in the Street Fighter scene, get big sponsorship deals.
Right.
Like, for example, one of the people that used to be my mentors is like one of my brothers to me, Ramsey. He, we had some tournament, some event, some esports event where all of a sudden a shit ton of money came into the scene, and there was loads of sponsors from everywhere picking up everyone, paying them money all the time. And he hadn't played Street Fighter for about a year, but previously when the game came out, he was doing quite well. So he came to me with this thing like, yo, Abe, these guys want to sponsor me for like 300 quid a month. Like, and they're going to pay for me to go to different events. Should I do it? And I was like, nah, bruv, you've done this. That was the acting side of me. I was like, you've done this, you've achieved this and this, you've achieved this and this. List out all your accolades and then tell them you want this much. And he got like 1,400 or something ridiculous, way more than any of the people who are better than him were getting paid.
Just
and everyone's like, how the fuck did Ramsey get this deal? Yeah, it was just because these people have no idea.
Yeah, right.
Like people who, and that's also what they rely on, naivety of people who don't understand the scene. So they'll go to you and be like, oh, you know, it's great exposure. And if you don't understand your worth or the scene, you'll be like, I'll do it then if it's great exposure. Yeah. But also, if they go to someone and be like, it's great exposure, and then you turn around and say, no, this is who I am and this is how much I'm worth and I'm aware of what people get paid, it's almost like they get tricked as well. Like the power shifts and they're like, oh, okay, yeah, cool, we'll pay you that then.
Don't you feel like, I feel like that's an interesting like conversation to be had, because it's not black and white that as well. Like like there are a couple of pieces of like advice or like sound bites that I would always say to people, like, you have to be prepared to walk away. Yeah, for sure. Like, and I think that is probably based on lowest amount you'll accept for yourself. Like if someone offers you and it doesn't have to be just financial. Like if someone offers you something that is less than what you're willing to, like, you'd be willing to do that thing for
morally,
like,
you mean?
Morally, maybe it's not financial benefits, maybe it's maybe that exposure is actually beneficial for you, know,
I think it's meet, like, going into any interaction business wise, whether it's financial, whether it's mutually beneficial, you have to have what you're asking for and what is the lowest you'll accept. So it's like, okay, I'm gonna ask for £500 for this dance job, but I'd do it for 250. But you don't tell them that. You're like, I want 500, and they're like, what about 4? And you're like, all right. You're lucky that's higher than 250. But yeah, I think it's true. Like, because if you don't know that, they'll just keep wearing you down. And if you get to 250 or whatever the lowest point might be, you need to be prepared to go, okay, never mind. Yeah. And then like either they go, all right, fine. Or they go, okay, see ya. And then you're like, all right, fuck it.
Yeah, and that's a tough pill to swallow straight away, man. Like
sometimes your fucking bottom line is low. You're like, I'll do this for 20 quid.
Yeah, sometimes. And sometimes it's like, sometimes you don't have any money. Yeah. Sometimes you've got bare stuff to pay for and you still have to fucking suck it up because you have to think 3 months ahead. Yeah. Like, sometimes it's just, it's shit.
Also, if you think about it, who's the best negotiator in the sense of getting what they want or not? Is these successful artists, like, let's take like really successful like commercial dancers or whatever, where they're like, it's like, how much do you charge for a workshop? This much. And it's like, oh, but we don't have that. Okay. Like, I'm getting 20 jobs a week. Like, doesn't matter. You want me or not? It's like, this is my price.
You
it's
have
like,
to be ruthless.
Yeah. And because their bottom line is what they've asked for. Like, there's no, like, for me, I'm like in and out of being broke. So I'm like, my bottom line shifts wildly compared to what I ask for. Yeah. But sometimes people just go, this is my price, take it or leave it. And then they're like, well, we can't. It's like, all right, see ya. It's like either find the money or hire someone else. Yeah. And I think that's the best, quote unquote, best negotiator, because it's like, they know so strictly what their bottom line is. Like, I might be good in the sense of, okay, I've asked for 500, but my bottom line is 400 and I know that, so I can negotiate. And as soon as we get to 400, then I become firm. But you've still won in a way, whoever the client is, because you've got me down to 400 when I asked for 5. So I think it's knowing what your bottom line is.
But also that, like, sorry to interrupt, like, if you are ruthless and stuff like that, even if you walk away from the job, that team now knows if they approach you again, they have to come correct. Not only that, if they have friends in that industry that also do the same thing, they'll be like, and someone's like, oh, you know, I'm trying to get Luke out on this photography job. I'd be like, yo, man, what are you offering Luke? Because he's not going to take anything lower than this.
And then sometimes what people do is they won't. What I think the fear is with that and I get this to myself, and it's a balancing game, and you go back and forth. But I think the fear is you go, here's my price. And they go, we haven't got it. And say, okay, fine. And then you think that person's going to go, oh, fuck him. I'm never hiring him again. But actually, a lot of the time what happens is they go, oh, okay, that's a shame, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, they might go away and try and save up money. Or when they do have money, they'll come back and be like, oh, now we can afford this. It's like when there's like a really expensive like T-shirt or something from like a good brand, like Carhartt or something. It's like, oh, it's worth this much. You don't go like, oh, well, Carhartt never have sales, so I'm not going to spend any money there ever. When you get money, you go back to Carhartt because you're like, now I can afford the premium shit. I'm not shopping in Primark when I get money for my birthday. You know what I mean? Like
the thing is as well, like when you say no to something, like the person that you're saying no to then has to tell the boss why you're not being hired. Like, why didn't you get Luke? Oh, we don't have the budget.
Can't afford him.
We can't afford it. So then they'll either go, okay, well then I'll give you a bit more budget so you can hire, or they'll go with someone cheaper. It won't have as much polish or as shine as they wanted, and then they'll be like, next time we have to make sure we put more budget into
And this is what I think also is the balance, is like your bottom line and what you ask for have to be in line with what you can deliver.
Absolutely. That's super important.
And I think that's where people get scared, because let's say I suffer from this a lot of like imposter syndrome and like not thinking I'm as good as maybe I am. Sometimes I'm confident, sometimes I'm like, oh, I'm shit. And I'm like,
imposter syndrome being
like when you are around people that are good and you feel like you don't belong there.
Yeah.
Right.
So like I've had this quite a few times when I've been in like rooms with like good and I've been on jobs with good photographers and they're like doing stuff and I'm like, like, and then I'm like, oh, they're going to know, like, that's why it's imposter syndrome. Like, they're going to know I'm not who I say I am. Because everyone in this room is a good photographer and they're going to find out I'm not a good photographer. Yeah. But like, you are. That's why you're in the room, but you just don't believe it and you think you're going to get found out. So I've had a lot of times like that where, I'm like, maybe I'm not feeling as good or I'm not as confident or whatever. And I'm asking for like, however much. And someone goes, okay, I'll pay you that. And I'm like, oh, fuck. Like,
oh Jesus, they're gonna do this now.
Like, I'm asking for $1,000 for these pictures. They're gonna want £1,000 worth of pictures. Can I even do 1,000? But like, are my pictures worth £1,000? But it's like, you kind of have to find a way to be realistic, because it's like, you can also lowball yourself. You can be like, oh, like what you're saying about Harry, and like, not that Harry does that, but like with that comment, you could be like, oh, I'm just taking pictures. It's super easy. Or like, I'm just doing a couple waves. It's super easy. So I'm only gonna ask you 200 or something. It's like, no, you're worth. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's the balance between being able to deliver what you ask for, but then also asking for what you're able to deliver.
To step
if
up
that makes sense.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
Can I ask you a question? How often have you had that the imposter syndrome feeling? How often have you had it? When did you start noticing it? Has it decreased or has it increased since you've become?
Put me in the hot seat, yo.
It's a birthday podcast, baby. We asking questions to Luke.
To be honest, I have it all the time, even now. But what I've done, and this is not a sustainable mentality, but it's worked for the last few years, is I realized I adopted this mentality of, I'm not an expert and I'm not good, but I'm just going to do my best and hope you like it.
Yeah.
And that doesn't work when it comes to asking for money, but in terms of the general mentality, like when someone like hires me for let's say a photography job or a video job, there's a part of me that knows that I'm good, but then there's a big part of me that's like, well, I'll just try my best. Hopefully you'll like it, you know. And it's not like I'm gonna, because I don't put expectations on myself in that way. So instead of rocking up to a studio and being like, I'm the fucking bad man photographer, like wait till you see these pictures, I rock up like, I'm just a guy with the camera and I'm going to try really hard and like, hopefully you like it. So then when actually it's made me feel good, because when people like it, I almost don't expect them to like it. So I'm like, oh, great. Like, I'm glad you like it.
I think that's a really good mentality to have. Like, you might not think, but maybe not for asking for money and stuff like that. Yeah. But in terms of once you've actually got the job, it's great. I always feel like the people that are more like, look, this is who I am and I'm going to do what I'm going to do and live with the results, they always end up either getting rehired more or improving faster than the person that's like, I fucking know what I'm doing, mate.
But it's weird. Like, I have that with photography, videography, stuff like that. But I don't have it, like, dance is almost the opposite. Like, I find myself in situations where I'm like either like appropriately confident So like I've been like Kieran's hired me a couple of times to be like choreographic like advisor on some of their shows. So I'd like go into the R&D for a week and like just look at it and give my opinion. And when we do that, I'm like, I deserve to be here, and I like I have like a very neutral feeling of like I'm not doing anything above my pay grade and I'm not doing anything below like this is exactly what I'm good enough to do, and this is how much I should get paid, and this is what I'm good at. And there's also sometimes when I go into like rehearsals with like really good choreographers and I'm like, I could fucking make this better. But I know that's like kind of above my pay grade. Like I've done nothing to prove that, but I'm confident in my own knowledge to be like, yo, if you had me on like as a choreographer as opposed to a dancer, I could definitely help with this show.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's where the gray area is. Like, so because I was going to say I don't necessarily agree with the idea of underselling yourself is a good way to be.
Yeah, for sure.
So like, so to preface this, like when I was in uni, one of my tutors, he said he learned that by going to try and sell his illustrations in an American meeting.
Right.
And he said over here, it was really, everyone would do the same thing. They'd present their work. It'd basically be a round table. Someone would commission a piece and then it'd be like 12 illustrators. And they'd go, okay, cool. So what have you got to show us to try and get the job in it? And each one would go, well, I mean, so I've done this, but if you don't like it, obviously we can check. I mean, this I thought was really good, but if it's
quite a British way of approaching things.
You're like apologizing for good work, you know. And then so it goes, when he went to the American one, he goes, he was the only, like, he said he was fortunate because like 3 or 4 people went before him, and all of them went, yo, mine's the best. This is why you should have it. Every single one. He was like, oh man, I need to sell my work. And I like that attitude that you have with the choreographing thing. I feel like it's not a binary thing. It's like I could help here. So it's not like I'm a sick choreographer or I'm not.
I could be effective in this situation.
There's something that I have that I'm aware of that would be good here and I'm very confident about.
Right.
And I think like that's a really good thing to have to prevent possibly that imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
You know, like that thing of like, oh, it's not like, oh, there are 5 other photographers here. Why am I here? It's like, let me check their work. Like, what are they doing? Like, what is it that makes them stand out? Have I got something that makes me stand out? Yeah, that's probably why they wanted me. Oh, I do that really well, and I'm confident that I can do that. You know, like and it's clearly valued here.
But in order to do that, you have to understand the market. You have to understand your competition.
Yeah, I think the more experience I've got, the more my imposter syndrome goes down.
Oh, so it has dissipated a bit.
What I meant by it's a good idea to be like that. It's like once you've turned up to the event, because I feel like it allows you to be more open to if things change or if they want you to do something different rather than being set in your ways.
I think your attitude has to be contextual.
Yeah.
Like you can't go into a business meeting being necessarily too humble, like you said.
Yeah.
But then you can't show up to a job working with other professionals and be like, yo, I'm the fucking man, everyone move.
Go the fucking way!
You need to read the room.
And just like not even caring, just like aiming the camera in the general direction, like click, click, click. These are probably fire.
Smoke that job. I think, precisely what you said, Lee, like understanding your market value, understanding the market, understanding, and then also telling them the why you're worth that.
Yeah.
That's huge, because if you can tell them the why, it's the why that's really that sells them.
Yeah.
And that makes them as confident in you that you are in yourself. If you can, which I'm not doing a very good job of right now, but if you can verbalize why you're so sick, then I feel like that always is a good indication as to why you should get paid that much money.
Yeah, word. That's true.
Did you just say word?
Yeah,
word.
Yeah, word.
We're back in 1999.
Word up.
Bars.
I get that from Jen, I think. She says that a lot.
Word. Yeah, she does.
Word. I reckon we should wrap up there because the camera dies around 2 hours. Because I can't afford better equipment.
Let me do a bit more of
because I'm doing this all for free. Oh, come on. Sounds good up in the booth. Up in the booth.
Bruv.
Abe, hit him with a couple notes.
Let me hit him with a couple.
Hit him with a key.
Hey, bro, this is nice, you know.
All right.
Oh.
Okay.
Silence.
You do this. Oh.
It's like Sway in the morning when they start getting gassed into the freestyle.
I love moving this mic. This is my favorite thing about podcasts.
Yeah, we need to come in it every week, man. We doing.
Yeah, what's going on?
Pirate Studios.
We need to be on all of
Sponsor
your
us.
Yeah, why is it taking you 23 episodes to put us on your podcast?
Yeah, we should have been number 1.
Should have been number 1.
Who was it? Dennis?
What?
Dennis!
No, Kieran.
Kieran?
Kieran?
You had Kieran on before us.
Kieran, bruv?
Bruv.
Alright, listen, yeah?
Wait, this thing...
This is what we wanted to do the whole podcast.
This has been so hard.
Before we turned it on, I was like, I just wanted, when you were halfway through asking a question, just be like, yo, Luke, can you hear me breathing?
Wait.
What's happening?
Wait.
Are you trying to fart?
Okay, so now there's like a big gap. If you want to cut that out, you can, but we can carry on, right? And then so you can have like a real ending. So we could do a proper ending. Endings. All right, so Luke, take it away, birthday boy.
What's happening now? Oh, we're doing a proper ending.
End it.
All right. End it. Let me wrap this shit up, yo. I feel like this energy is I'm gonna say real serious stuff, and then you just carry.
Wrap it up.
You carry on with that, and I'll carry on with this. Guys, if you made it to the end, thanks for listening. I super appreciate it. I super appreciate Lee and Abe for fucking keeping it together for an hour and 50 minutes. This is unraveling slowly.
Slowly?
Yeah, it's fucking, I wanted to talk to these guys because I fucking love them. And I think it's super important for everyone to have like a support network. And these guys have been mine. And as much as this doesn't look like it, they've had my back for
Look like your battery died, G.
the last 13 years. And yeah, man, it's super nice to have the chat.
Look, legit. Sorry, can I interrupt?
Yes.
I know I just said you did the ending and it's your birthday podcast, but you know your boy's here.
Speak to him, baby.
Sorry, I just want to say legit, man. Like, watching you do this podcast has been so fucking motivating, man.
Yeah, man, you've been on it, man. Consistent.
Trying my
like really,
hardest.
really bad. Like it's just been like, you know what? There's this big thing that I don't live up to myself that you do.
Okay.
Which is just get started to be consistent and then learn on the way. Like that's the fucking important bit, man. And you have fucking smashed it with this.
Oh,
like,
thank you, man.
Like I've been such a fucking.
We need one of those sound effects.
Abe, ad-lib it. Go.
Yo,
Luke.
soundbite. Hey, Luke.
You're the best, bruv. Wow. So consistent, hardworking, got it started. Listen, podcasts, photography, videography, choreography, panonography, whatever the ography,
you got it.
Luke's it,
got the
man.
thing, man.
So all I want to say is thanks for having us on.
Thank you.
Happy 31st.
Hey, listen, just before that.
He done it, do it.
Hey, listen, Lee, bruv, hit them with some of that Caribbean flavor. Hit them with the patois.
Tell them on a Lord of mercy.
Oh, guys. Please, I'll be back with a more serious one next week. Please.
Seriously, it's just the end. We held it together.
They did hold it together.
Hit them with the patois, bruv.
All right. Let's go live for the last 5 minutes.
Oh, we're doing the. Oh, we actually doing the live. Fuck it.
Well, we're live on Instagram. I've never been live on Instagram.
What we got them 2 watchers, yeah?
Why does your voice go like?
Because you know what it is. That anytime I want to do anything, if I want to sing anything, it has to go bare deep.
So, guys, we're just live on Instagram right now, recording the last few minutes of the Duke London podcast, episode 23.
It just keeps going.
Oh, what's up, y'all?
What it do, baby boo?
Can I eat
Has
that?
anyone joined?
Yeah, there's a few people.
Let me give them a shout
So,
out.
guys, if you're still listening at this point, the camera's off and it's all good.
You should put this on.
And it's all good.
Yeah, you
So-
should edit this into the thing.
Should I?
Yeah, can you do that? Do you have to screen record now?
What do you mean, can I do that? I'm the fucking best videographer,
I'm the
editor.
man, I'm
No,
the man.
Editingography.
Editingography, bro.
Choreography. Videography. Photography. Mastering the ographies.
Man does
Basically, anyone listening,
Right,
if you're
boom.
on Spotify, if you're on
Yeah.
YouTube, thank you for listening.
Yes,
Like,
bruv.
comment, subscribe, check me out. I'm going to be here every week as much as I can. Thank you so much for sticking with me this long. Hope you're enjoying. Please let me know if you are. Please put this on your Insta story, on your Facebook, whatever. Just share
Put it on all
Tell
the
a friend.
things, fam.
And yeah, I'll be back. And we're just going to fuck around for the last few minutes. So feel free to go and do other things if you have other things to do.
Man's got double the mics. That means you got to hear me twice. Shower them down, bro. We done know.
Oh, they've been holding this shit in for...
Bruv, we talked sensibly for 2 hours. That's how you get.
I was definitely going to say one of the people who joined your Instagram live's name, and then I read the name and I was like, I can't say that name.
Yeah, please don't say that name.
What is it?
Don't.
Let me see.
Lee.
No.
Whatever the name, I'll pronounce it.
No, Lee. There, you can't say it.
Oh yeah, guys, we're in Pirate Studios, yo. What? They're whispering stuff to each other.
Datakun.
Wasn't that, but that's close enough. Yeah,
Is that close?
Yeah. So
Joe, it's like a teacher reading the register. They get down, John, Josie, and do you know Siobhan? Do you know when they try and read that name and it's like Sahawa Bubban?
It's this guy.
That coon. Well, where were you for the last 4 months, eh?
He said, "It me."
It me? Yes, it's you, that coon. What do you mean, that me? You with the maniac name.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, fucking love these guys.
Woo. What's people saying, Luke? Tell us what people are saying.
There was a
We wanna
photographer
talk to our
with
fans.
that name at a wedding I went to.
Really?
It was called it's just Mr. Coon.
Nice.
I've only got 5.
I went to she's actually a pretty big actor and she's probably going to get even bigger, but
So you probably shouldn't talk.
so I probably shouldn't say.
the internet.
I'm going to say it anyway. But she handled it really well. I was like, oh, you know, I came in on this show and she was like, oh, hi, lovely to meet you. I was like, oh, lovely to meet you. My name's Abe. She was like, oh, nice to meet you. My name's Isis. I went, sorry, did you just say your name is Isis?
What? Like
and
the
she
god?
she went, yeah. And I went, oh, okay,
Wait,
cool.
there's a god called Isis.
Isn't there an Egyptian god called Isis?
Oh, there might be.
Pretty sure there is.
Possibly. That's not what I knew then.
I would know.
But that's...
The Islamic State of Iraq. Oh, no, that's not it.
Did you just Google Isis?
Yeah.
Ah,
ISIS. Wait, ISIS. I'm going to put ISIS god.
But to be fair,
I
once
feel like
It's a goddess, sorry. It was the daughter of the earth god, Geb.
Oh!
Karina said Isis is a goddess.
Yeah, because I was going to say that name was actually sick once I took the, you know, what I knew
Terrorist
it for.
implications
Yeah, the terrorist
off.
implications off of it. I was like, Isis is actually a pretty nice name.
Yep.
Sick.
Come on, Luke. Hit us with the birthday stuff.
Hit us with the birthday stuff,
Well,
Luke.
it was my birthday last Wednesday, but actually it's this Wednesday. Time travel Tenet.
I still haven't seen that.
Tenet.
Is it good? Did you like it?
I liked it. I mean, to be honest, this is the movie review. Luke's movie review. Featuring Abe and Lee. Tell them the thing, you know. How many stars you give it? I thought it was good. I thought like the concept, like, it was just a cool way of filming like the concept. But outside of the story and all that, the story wasn't that great.
Yeah.
So, go see Tenet
Lee
now.
has finished talking. Lee has finished concentrating for the day. He is done.
Have you seen Tenet?
Yes.
What did you think?
Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't enjoy it.
Did you not?
I did not.
Loads of people walked out, apparently.
I didn't enjoy it at all. And what annoys me even more is everyone being like, oh, if you didn't enjoy it, it's probably because you didn't understand it. You're so stupid. It's
No,
like,
there's not
nah.
that much.
Love those people, man.
It's like, I'm smarter than you, and that's why I enjoyed
You
it.
clearly need an IQ that's above average to enjoy that sort of thing. I happen to enjoy it. All right, mate.
I felt bad because I just keep calling the main. I still don't know his name, bro.
The main character, he doesn't have a name.
No, but the actual actor. I just call him Denzel
John
Washington.
David.
Oh, I heard his name was the antagonist.
Protagonist.
I called him
Protagonist.
Denzel. Denzel.
But he means the
Washington's
actor.
son.
That's Denzel's son.
Bro, that's
Yeah, man.
Denzel's son. If you
Cool,
watch
innit?
it, watch him act because I saw him in Black Klansman.
You do
Yeah.
that as well.
No. He does do that. He does do that.
I don't
Not
like
all
him.
the time.
I don't
Only at
like him as an
certain bits.
action.
As an action person, yeah,
I liked him in
they're
Black.
trying
He's a bit too. He feels a bit goofy for me.
Black Klansman.
Black Klansman.
I liked him in that, but
yeah.
in when he's trying to be this like I don't
Serious.
know the James Bond esque.
yeah, I'm
I
not
didn't like
sure.
him as that
I
character.
haven't seen that.
Who knows? Maybe it's the writing, you know. But he's a decent actor. He's a really good actor. I like him. What are you doing?
Luke, tell us what you got coming up.
What have you got coming up? Who's on the
Sell it to
show?
'em.
On what?
On your life.
This camera, that camera, that camera.
Tell people what you got going in your life.
No,
The Last Dab. Yeah, there's like 5 people.
Pressure.
Anyone we know?
Pressure. My
Oh,
sister,
get out of here, Pressure.
Karina.
Kelsey!
Jamal's little brother, and then
Karina!
the name that I cannot say.
Wow, didn't even say Jamal's little brother's name.
The name that I cannot say. Also,
The name that Lee said.
yes.
Said it twice.
Don't feel comfortable saying that.
Well, you are very smart because it is 2020. They can't hear us.
2020. Bro, we should have talked about.
No, but they can hear us through normal voices.
Can we do this again? And can we just start from the beginning and do like a politics one?
No, I don't want to be involved.
I want to do all of it.
And that's enough for today. So thanks everyone for being here. Yo, for anyone that's still listened from like 1 hour 50 to now, fucking.
This is the good stuff.
This is what you've been waiting for. Yeah. Imagine they tune in, they're like, this isn't what I fucking wanted. I was hoping they'd be.
If they just moved the whole time and you had to talk like that.
That'd be sick.
I just think you should.
Karina said, Abe.
What are you saying, Karina? Karina.
All right, guys, look, I'm going to wrap it up. We're going to stay on live, but we're going to close off the recording. Thanks so much for being here. I hope this was entertaining for you. And I'm going to be back next week.
Happy
Should have been number one. Happy birthday to you. Should have been number one. Happy birthday to you. Should have been number one, but it's okay. Being number 23. Happy birthday to Luke.